It's not live. We will go ahead and call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Grant?
Here.
Dean?
Here.
Gaston?
Here.
Brown?
Yes.
Thank you. Observe with me a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. A copy of the Open Meetings Act is posted here on the wall on the back of City Hall. It's also available in pamphlet form upon request at City Hall, and can also be found if you follow the link within this agenda. Tonight, we are meeting to discuss the 2026-27 budget for street and cemetery departments, so just the two. We'll go ahead and start with cemetery first, just in case Tim shows up, but we're not sure if he'll be here or not, so. This should be fairly straightforward. There's not a whole lot that is in cemetery, and there's not a whole lot that I would assume that we can change that's in cemetery either.
You wanna talk about rates at all?
Yeah.
Prices. So, our regular plot purchase. Let's think, it's 300, it says it's 250, and then for the residents, and people that are not residents, it's 300. So, we just looked at Shadron.
Yeah, I
And
was
of course,
just gonna-
they water theirs, and ours is a prairie cemetery, but
Right.
their per space flat rate is 400.
Okay.
And opening and closing of graves, full size, is 450, and ours is 350. Wait a minute, these are not well written. Opening graves, weekdays is 300, and cremations is smaller. So I guess maybe we could do this. So our first space, now if you wanna consider residents or non-residents, it's 250 and 300 compared to their 400. Our opening on weekdays is 300. And theirs is 450. The smaller cremated remains and stuff, that is 125. 200 on weekends. Shadron apparently doesn't charge more for weekends. Opening when ground is frozen and graves over standard size is different rates, or separated out for Shadron.
So ours is,
So
say
I don't
ours
know
one
if
more
you
time
wanna
again. Ours is just 300.
Yeah, for non-residents, and I think 250 is what it says up there at the top for
250, okay.
residents.
So my opinion on this would be their equipment and our equipment costs the same amount to purchase, maintain, operate, wages. I think we should, for opening a grave, I think we should match their price.
Yeah, I don't think that's a terrible rate.
This is a morbid question, but how many on the average do we intern compared to Shadron also? I'm just kinda curious.
Well,
I would say it's more frequent than you realize, because that was something I found surprising in being at City Hall. And also too, we have quite an older community than Shadron does
Right.
versus Shadron. So
Right.
we do have, if you're looking at statistics, quite the aging community compared to, so we've got more customers, is one way to put that.
More customers.
So,
Residents.
and the other thing is we're roading a backhoe 3 miles out, 3
Right.
miles back.
Right. I just Googled Hemming Forts just for size comparison. Opening closing fee is $225, which ours is what, 300? or no, this is the
300,
opening is 300, yeah.
300.
So that's not terrible. And their lot fee is $240, so that's kind of comparable to what ours did. But it looks like they have just a flat rate, not resident, non-resident.
When was this last addressed, the rates, do you have any idea?
Not since I've been on.
No.
Last time it was amended was 17.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
What, I don't know what was amended, but it was amended in
I
17.
think the prices and a little policy that got added.
Sure.
yeah, I think we should, add shatters, I mean, with the cost of everything, fuel, and tires,
And maybe not the sale of the plot, because like Jane said, they water theirs constantly.
Sure.
And we don't. I mean, it's up
Well,
to-
theirs is in town. They've got a certain
Right.
visual view. I mean, it's right along the highway. Everybody sees it. Ours is not in town in that sense, and it is a prairie
Mhm.
cemetery compared to what theirs is.
So,
Do we have regulations on stone height or anything along those lines? Because
There is.
I know that was something we
policy.
ran into with theirs, so I didn't know if we were that picky. If that was, a place where we were a little more open about.
Those prices stay the same as that, 250 resident, yeah. And there's regulations on, Jenny Dean was pretty hard on getting that
Yeah,
put together and.
standardized.
Making
Markers
sure
shall be no
the
more
map
than
was
12 by
accurate.
40. Facade bottoms and ends. 12 by 80.
and we do require a vault, which makes it even more expensive.
We do have a maximum of 30, which is not all that high.
Are we gonna run out of room?
Someday.
Well, yeah.
We're not close to that part. Last year, we had to be concerned about what was plotted, and so we did go through and that was on this last year's budget,
Okay.
to have another section of it plotted out, and that's part of what Jody said, that they were close to being done with, but the last part they just had flagged and they're supposed to put in like steel posts, and they hadn't done that part yet, but they had their own passing of someone within the company, so they were.
This is what we had been having, and then this is what they're
so
working
this
on or
is
doing.
facing west then, Jane? Am I looking at this
That's
right?
north.
Well, that's
So
why-
that's north, and then this would be,
So this is the south.
yeah,
Portion.
that's how it would sit, and
There we go,
Where we're
okay,
at,
there it
yes.
is, that's,
Mhm.
yeah, okay.
So those are
Yep.
the two,
it's on the
and
south
of
wall.
course, each of these squares is 6 spots.
Yep, 6.
spaces.
He knows that deep, I guess, it
Mhm.
surprises me.
And we haven't paid for that yet, so we might wanna go ahead and save and budget for it again this next year.
Correct, that final phase, because we've paid for the other phases, correct? Just that final phase we
I
haven't
didn't
paid
see
for.
anything. in
We haven't paid for any of it. Okay.
No, they said they bill it when they get.
When it was done. Okay, so that is something for us to
So
consider.
the 10,044.
And we did feel like we got a pretty good rate on that, if I remember correctly, like it felt like a pretty decent bid. We ran across that.
And that will all be due this year?
Well,
So we're,
there's no sure thing that'll be done this year, so we don't wanna budget for this coming year.
So
Can
we don't know if we'll be finished at the next 2
Because
or
there's
3
a
months.
CD
Well, what
to
I'm-
cover it.
Sure, as a CD.
is 400.
Yeah, the money's there.
Oh,
We would just
we're
need to budget for it to have the
250.
transaction to happen next year as
That's
opposed
what,
to the
I was
transaction.
wondering if we could
Um,
plan, pay it in allotments, is I guess what I'm getting at, but
Yeah.
yeah. I
But
understand
yeah,
what
they
you're
wanted us to pay when it was
saying.
done, is what she
Perfect,
said.
okay, yeah, alright.
Cemetery, oh yeah, that's right, cemetery has.
Oh, I see, so,
I figured it's gonna cost a lot more than that to do that survey. There's 2, one was bequeathed to us from,
Okay.
and I don't know where the other came from, but they've got plenty of money.
Okay,
Do we need to be
Did you-
cautious of
did you-
raising rates then if that
That's kind of
department
what-
already has that kind of money and it's hard to spend it
And
within
we-
that
We
department?
could probably budget, we could probably budget, that
these
water
two
tank
lines.
removal. to be
So-
done and pay
Yeah,
for
we
it
could make that happen, 'cause we do need to
nothing's
make that
happening
happen.
out there.
Right,
okay,
that would be fair.
so, the 450 rate to open is for a grave over 40 inches wide.
Correct. Just the
So
400
there-
is
Oh, well,
Their,
flat rate.
their normal under 40 inch wide grave is 200. And ours is 125 and 200 for weekends, right?
Whatever it says.
I think
there.
that's what, yeah, I think that's what that,
I think this is low
maybe we just
For the-
flat rate 200.
for the cost of, I mean, diesel alone.
Right.
Yes.
I think
Fair.
this is low,
Mhm.
our 125 during the week.
Mhm.
So,
Do we have a special fee for extreme situations as frozen?
Like the
or-
ground is frozen?
Yeah, or,
I don't know that we have
do we
that in
have, I
there
mean,
at all. I think just the weekends for overtime was considered,
There's
but not
something about
frozen.
for extra? 'Cause it's hard
I don't see anything
On
on our
teeth.
policy.
on teeth and
Mhm.
everything else, one
Right.
bucket.
We'd have to have snow to have frozen.
Good
We're
point.
still
And-
thinking, we're putting
And
it out
weather
there.
below 70 degrees.
We're putting
so,
it out there so
yeah.
that it happens. We
We
want
turn into
good
Florida
frozen
here,
winter.
basically, yes. I agree with, I think we need to make our basic go.
Are we gonna grandfather like Patty Lexton and some of those people?
What do you mean?
Well, isn't there some applications for grave sites? Didn't we have a couple?
You just approved a couple of, Lux and shit.
So those will be done at the current rate because that's when they were approved.
Right, that's.
So
what we need.
so.
We won't say, oh, by the way, we just.
So if we did change the rates, we would have to put that through a meeting,
Oh,
and it wouldn't
okay,
be
so-
after, anything that happens after that meeting would be,
Oh, okay.
those
good.
rates would apply
I
then.
just didn't wanna raise it on those people.
Fair,
when they
yeah.
go through
No,
everything.
fair.
Is that an ordinance? I can't see it.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
So,
it's a section 11604. Yep, ordinance number 658.
I think as far as opening and closing graves, I think we should just match what Shadron has. Cause like I said, cost of equipment.
Yeah.
Wages, diesel, all that stuff. As far as the
Spaces.
spots, I think we're good. You guys, and that's my opinion, obviously, but, and as far as what the cemetery has for money, yeah, we need to get rid of that tank. But
Well,
I was just out there this weekend, we had family reunion, and, you know, we do cemetery tours for people that come in from all over. And I found a headstone that my grandparents didn't even know where it was because it was buried under a cedar tree. And I think, my personal opinion, we should use some of this money and every cedar tree out there needs to be gone, every single one. Cause they're pushing on headstones, they're covering up headstones. The ones along the avenues have grown so wide that now people are driving on graves to
Okay.
get around the trees. I think they need to be all gone.
that will take a hefty penny to make that happen,
Right.
because there's that much out there.
And we have no place to burn it,
Right,
cause
that
our
too,
burn pile's full.
that
but-
too.
I think that should be considered
Yeah.
as something, as a project that needs to happen this year, because I mean, we're supposed to be taking care of it, and now you've got traffic driving over graves and
Yeah, that's
knocking up
gone
and.
beyond what we should have caught that earlier then, if that's the case.
Right.
I have to agree with that. Well, from my perspective, I would say that I do like the idea of following Chatterton's rates, but I don't think it would hurt anything to make our flat rates go up by 50. Cause nothing's gonna get cheaper, and if we don't consistently do this a little bit at a time, then down the road, they're gonna have to do it extreme, and it's gonna be even more painful.
Yeah.
So, you know, if we are changing these to be matching Shattered, I think that's not a huge jump, but it makes sense. I would adjust those by 50, where it's 300 for resident, 350 for non. And that way it's just enough to help make that a steady climb as opposed to a
Exactly
significant
what I was
jump
gonna
later
say.
on.
Yeah, I
So-
think it needs to be adjusted.
Now, right now, we have more burials during the week to save money. If we make it just one flat rate, whether it's weekdays or weekend, then we're gonna be paying a lot more overtime. So do we want to adjust this one?
Make it just 250 instead of, so this one is under, this would be the one that's regularly used. So you can make that one 250, and then make the ones that are over match that 450, cause they'd be so much bigger. I don't think that's terrible, that's not an extreme difference, I mean, right now it's 200.
If we
For
wanna
now.
keep Tim's overtime down, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
we might wanna
Yeah.
bump
And
up the
I don't-
weekend rate a little
I mean,
bit more.
I don't know that it needs to have the discount for resident or non-resident on the openings, I mean, they need the same size, no
Right.
matter whether if they're from here or from there,
Right, it should just be
a flat rate.
weekday rate, weekend rate.
Yeah, and that's what we have here, right? That's what that is the weekdays 125 and the weekends 200.
Well, that's Shadron's there.
Shadowlands isn't, but that's ours. Ours is the
Oh,
weekend
yeah,
and weekday and weekend. So our weekday could be 200 and our weekend could be 250.
Sure.
That one's a little clearer, but
Okay, so that's something that we probably need to put together, for one of our next meetings, is to propose those rate changes. I'll let you have this back so you can make notes, Jane.
okay.
That may make sense in the long run to you. Looks like we like the 400 for the oversize. So we switched to the 400 for that.
It's 450.
That was it.
I think so.
Oh, it says
It says
450.
400. Oh, sorry, 450. And then
So
the
you-
one
So
below,
we like 400 for that?
or 450, we like what they have.
Oh, we like
We
that.
like that.
Okay.
And then for the one below, that's the regular size, it would be 200 and 250. Instead of what we have is 125 for weekday and 200 for weekend. We'd have 200 for weekday and 250 for weekend.
250.
Yep.
Per weekend, there you
And we'll present that in the next month or so at meetings, that way we can process that for next year's rates. And then as far as the plot for in town and out of town, we'll raise those by 50, so in town would be, or resident would be 300, non-resident would be 350 then. Is that what we,
Yeah. Oh, what is our non-resident rate? I mean, it's,
That's kinda what I thought.
Well,
Maybe
you
that's
get-
been set in a while ago.
you
Okay,
get
because-
people that wanna be
Like
buried
Like-
with their
Halloween's
family
and stuff,
members,
Just look for a cheap place to.
and that is probably why.
And so,
And honestly, even at the higher rate, it's probably way cheaper than where they're from.
but the cremations, we're still good on,
What do we have that one listed as?
What do you do, dig a post hole, that's what we did.
Pretty
on
much.
that. Yeah, that's what I did with my parents, just dug a post hole.
cremations weekdays is 125, cremations weekends, holidays is 200.
Do they have note on that? Or is it just the flat rate?
They just have a flat rate and then Babyland, and then depending on the size, frozen and over standard size.
So just the frozen, not the.
it is a lot of wear and tear on our machines.
Well, I guess it would be worth us asking our employees how they go about those. I mean, if they dig them the same way they do the graves, then they probably need to be charged the same way. But if they don't dig them the same way they do the graves, then maybe it's worth having a different price. Cause we have an individual price for cremation right now, correct? That's our price.
Right. I wouldn't even understand why somebody would have to take a vehicle out there or a tractor out there to dig a hole for a can.
Yeah.
Makes no sense to me.
Well, but cremations
I mean-
can come in all different, cause you can make your own, or you can
Yeah,
do
that's-
boxes and all kinds of stuff. So,
It's true.
somebody could come out with a box that's the size of this, that's not gonna go in an auger hole.
Yeah.
It'd just be
I
just big
suppose
enough that it'd be,
People do, yeah, weird things, but.
So we can certainly
but we can ask Kevin what they
have
normally
something
do,
that, yeah.
and see if that applies to some, and that
I
we
don't
can
know if
consider
Kevin
that.
knows that,
Is
or
it-
Tim.
It's Tim
I think
probably
it's
does it,
Tim
doesn't it?
that
I think that's why we have the cemetery and the street together.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we can ask him that before we put that on
You
the
can
next
do the
meeting,
cremation one by size, since you're talking about different sizes.
depending on if he thinks,
Yeah,
if he
that
could
was-
runs across that often enough.
Yeah, that would
We'll
be
meet
the
with her,
question,
see.
whether I don't know, how deep do those have to be, cremations?
It's
Minimum
very deep.
3, right?
I think is what it says, yeah, 3 foot.
3
foot.
to 3.
So does he use a backhoe to
Isn't
take
there
a bucket
post
out,
hole
or?
there for the back of does the backhoe have an attachment that's like a?
Oh,
I'd
I
have
bet
to
they
ask
use a
him.
little tractor
Okay.
Maybe,
Good read.
with a 3-point auger.
maybe.
Well, if it ain't raining out there, I
That's
guarantee you that
hard.
ground
Oh,
is
Yeah.
hard.
Cause that's closer to gumbo camp territory than it is.
I know, yeah.
Tried to do
Buried
it
ours.
back once when it was frozen, it's a lot of work.
You need a pickaxe.
Alright,
Okay, so we can leave the
I mean, our charges that we've changed will affect, you know, fees and charges and
alright.
our revenue lines.
Looks like we're barely probably gonna make our 5,000 this year, I don't know.
Right,
Well, we got
a few coming in,
a couple,
but yeah, we're gonna be awfully close.
so I don't know. You wanna just take a shot in the dark and call it 6
6.
instead of 5 or something?
I think that's fair, cause we know it'll go up since the rates we've changed.
Big math.
Okay. Interest, that's not something that we necessarily line item, transfers is just what's used, right?
Yeah.
And we have to budget for the CD to be dispersed, then we have to,
Yeah.
we need to put that in there.
We can put it in there as a placeholder.
Okay.
And then, so we're figuring 11, I guess, there's 144 for the plating. And if you wanna use, at one time they thought removing that water tank might cost 10,000 or something.
That is, I think, what we
Is that-
just meant, cause we had trouble getting hits on it.
I'd almost just say, just scrap it out, let one of our local scrap guys, you know, bid on it.
What is it made out of, galvanized, or what is it made out of?
It's an old steel tank,
It's a steel tank.
big old steel tank, yeah.
Yeah, scrap that, for sure.
Is it gonna be like the balloon boy thing?
So you think
Oh my
10,000
God.
is a lot?
Oh, yeah, I would think so.
I mean, we could budget for it.
I don't know where we haul it off to is the problem, but.
No, I'm talking.
When they
just-
did that, they come get it.
Well, for sure,
Bid it.
that's what I'm saying, but if we had to do it ourselves, even if we had to do it ourselves and we had to haul it to the dump, I don't know where we'd haul it to, cause they won't take it.
No.
So there might lay in the rub, that the $10,000 that she's talking about for us to do it ourselves, if nobody's gonna bid on it, is what I'm trying to get at, so.
With the scrap guys, they just put it on their trailer and haul it to
Right,
wherever
if
they're
they're
going.
interested in
Right.
Yeah.
doing it, that's what, I don't know what it's, but if it's made out
Steel.
of steel, then you would think that there
It should
should
be
be some legal.
enough, yeah.
And if you want cedar tree removal, what's
Right.
a shot in the dark for that cost?
I would say you'd probably need to throw 10 grand in it and see what we can get done with 10 grand, I don't think that'd be the whole project. But one thing is, I will say, with that tree grant that we've received, that includes training for our own staff to become
Sawyers?
a lot more educated in that department, where we might be able to do that a lot more in-house than what we've been able to do before,
That's what I was.
which would be
thinking.
very helpful, and there, part of that is, you know, part of that grant is the training with that, so that would help with not having to subcontract that out. But it'd still be wages, I
I've
mean,
tore down many cedar trees, it takes 4 swipes down and then 1 off.
Mhm.
I agree,
And
I
then
agree.
you just use the loader and put it in the
Yeah,
dump truck.
That's
and
what,
haul it
that,
to the
right,
dump.
so
Yeah.
what's the major expense here now? Have we got that many cedar trees
There's
out?
quite a few
Oh,
out there.
yeah, there's a lot.
'Cause I mean, I can knock a
If you
tree
had to
down in
hire it out, is
10 minutes.
where there, a lot of that cost, I would say that if we had to hire it out, but if our guys would be comfortable enough doing it, and with the additional training that they're gonna get with the grant that we have coming through, I don't think it should be anything that we should have to consider of a
The
subcontractor.
revenue's there, so I think, yeah,
Right.
we can just well make it, clean it up, and 10,000.
But we also need to protect our employees, and this needs to come from the council. Cedar trees are done out there,
Mhm.
and that way, because
Do
some
we
of
need
our
to make
employees
that more of
are
an ordinance that
getting.
if somebody wants to plant a tree on behalf of someone out there, that is one of the,
Deciduous, not a
right, that's one of the
conifer.
ones that we don't ask, that we ask not to be planted.
Mhm.
Yeah, once they get going, they're crazy.
There shall be no planting of any kind permitted within the cemetery without prior approval from the cemetery board / city council. And as such, they have the right to plant, trim, or remove all trees, flowers, and shrubs.
So it's kinda covered already.
So they
As
have
long
to
as
have
nobody
special
changes their
permission
mind.
for planting.
Right.
That's not bad. Okay,
So if you figured 10 trees, 10 water tank, 15 plating, we could just say 35 coming in from CD and
Okay.
And I suppose CD expenses. CD expended on the next page. At least we don't have to match it.
Yeah, that's nice.
Okay.
Buying cedar removal in the tank, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we have a cemetery board anymore? We used to.
I think the park board
They
kinda took
oversee
that
it at
over.
this time. Our wages seem awkwardly low. Is that something where it hasn't been, or we need to look into it?
They're just not putting much of their time towards it. I don't know if
Okay.
if it's easier on the timesheet to just say park, or if it's.
Well, but when
just
it's
really
not raining, there's
Yeah,
nothing
nothing
growing and there's
growing
not
out
a
there.
lot to do then. So that might be part of it too, cause we just have not got any rain. I'm sure it's nothing out there.
Well, 3 years ago, they were out there every week.
Right.
'Cause it
But that was part of what we told them, they needed to focus, whether it rained or not, they needed to focus in town and not out there as just part of the cut we needed to make too. For priorities, cause we had a lack of employees, so maybe that's that. That's quite a bit different than what we had
Well,
for our current budget. I mean, we've
Yeah.
used 3,000 of the 13.
and Kevin is still wanting gravel now
For out there.
for out there because, there's holes in the roads.
Which we probably need to make that happen. Do we need to throw another
But-
another 5 at that 35 we did from the city?
But the question is still, is this a,
Could get a nice stockpile.
Use something other than Red Rock used, though. I mean, just saying, go ahead.
well, is this an essential department or not?
We have to bury our dead.
Yeah, you can't let them sit out.
Right. But it is a
So,
prairie
yes.
cemetery and not, and there's not,
I think
there's not this expectation of,
it wouldn't be rock for the look.
perpetual care that we're required to have for them. It's not, paved roads and
Yeah.
green grass and all that,
The
so.
perspective of safety and liability as opposed to
We don't.
visual.
Right.
We don't need to make it a dirt trail though, if we can do it though. I mean,
Sure.
if we can put some white rock out there
Right.
that'll pack in there, I think we can do that.
We budgeted 1,500 and we've only spent 821, 822.
Well, maybe we need to budget closer to 2,000 or something like that for it, just because they do have it, at least then they can use it.
I think a couple of those. will-
So, should we be spending that before the end of the year then, get a couple loads?
That's not a
Some
bad idea to use
gravel.
this year's before we have to expend next year's. That's a great idea. I can convey that.
I mean, if
If it's there and,
there's
yeah,
money available, then we should
Yeah.
probably
get ahead of it.
get ahead of it, exactly. But you're right, it
Please
doesn't need
get
to be
ordered.
red rock.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, we can use this white rock south of town, so
Yeah.
third
Okay.
price.
So are we moving that up to 2,000 for next year though? Or-
I guess it depends on I don't know how bad it is out there. Do you think they'd need it?
We need a lot of rock.
Okay, yeah, I would then.
What others on the payroll stuff? Dues and fees.
I don't wanna seem cold heart, I have a lot of relatives buried out there, so but trying to keep the city afloat, not.
Right.
Focus.
Well, but I think we've all spoke about what we expect that to be visually or how we expect it to be, and it's a prairie cemetery. It is not one of those high-end maintained
Mhm.
specialty cemeteries, so I
With
think,
mausoleums and all that.
right, I think the decisions we're making fit the expectations of what we have.
I mean, to be quite honest, what we really probably need out there at some point is one of those walls for cremations, and that would alleviate all this opening. Yeah, but you need money to build one of those.
I will say with the tree grant that we're receiving, we are pulling out 30 trees and planting 30 trees, but we can plant more than just 30 trees. That is one thing that we can plant more, and so that is part of what's considered is planting more out there to replace potentially what was wanting to be removed for cedar. So there's that to keep in the back of your mind also, that is available.
Well, deciduous trees aren't the problem. But they're also the ones that die when we
Sure.
don't get rain.
Yeah.
But the nice thing about that grant is we've got more than one option.
I
for
would
those
raise
trees.
trees out there, yes, cause like you said, unless somebody's gonna water, because it would be a waste of it.
Well, and then the ones that we're getting
Cheap either,
are,
so.
are set up for success, and they wouldn't be too terribly bad to make happen, and that's something that they consider is, with that environment, what would succeed in that environment, and then they've got specialty
There are
breeds that they're wanting to consider in those circumstances.
there are a number of people that water graves out there.
Yes.
Those would be the ones that you'd
Probably want a tree.
say, hey, do you want a tree?
Oh, you're at it?
Yeah.
2 more buckets. Okay. Are we feeling good about cemetery then, to move the street?
Yeah, that's my concerns on the cemetery, so.
Did we cover everything, Jim? I don't wanna leave
Close
anything.
enough.
I suppose we go over it all again in the final to make sure
Yeah.
that.
Okay, street.
Which one is this? Is this still cemetery?
Yes.
Okay, so we didn't address this, the,
The blade drag.
Blade drag. And the 30
The
crosses.
30 crosses got taken care of though, that wasn't that grant money or something that we have tied to that? And that the 30 crosses is what the
Oh, not with the
high school did, and they got those done, and they did get them out to Kevin.
And it looks fantastic.
Good.
It looked, I
That's
mean,
wonderful to hear.
I don't know if he used a string line or something,
Good.
but it looks
It
like
looks
a
very nice.
military cemetery
Oh, that's
where we
beautiful
put
then.
those he did a great job.
That's
Was
wonderful to
that
hear.
Kevin or?
Yeah.
I believe so, I believe that was
Mhm.
Kevin's doing. So we need to probably follow up on the blade drag, make sure that that was handled this year.
There's still 513 left in that account. so
Right.
Probably should be checked in.
Well, they've spent 513.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
then there's more, there's
budgeted,
$1,000, $1,100, $1,200 then. So for
So
sure.
there's enough there for them to be
Yeah.
purchased if it needs to be.
Did we do that?
Okay, we'll follow up with Kevin.
If so, we just roll over what there is, right?
We could, yes, if he hasn't used it yet,
Yeah.
correct.
So is it, would it, I see this uniform allowance here where it zeroes out, but we've got essentially 2 employees that work out there and they get their, boot allowance or whatever, clothing allowance every year.
Which 2
Would it-
employees, Tim and
Tim and Kevin,
Kevin?
yeah, so,
But I think if they submitted it, it would have been easily taken out of street and park first before they considered
Right.
it for cemetery. But we could, if they did it this year under park and street, then maybe next year it needs to be taken out of cemetery, since they both do that, maybe it's a rotation thing so that those budgets aren't carrying it.
it's
But
just
that
a
makes it a
question.
challenge to
Right.
track it all over
I don't
too,
know if everybody's gonna remember that.
Right.
I mean,
right,
it's just,
and then it makes
it's
it
a
a problem
line
to track.
item there because it was set up for all the departments,
Correct.
you know.
Yes,
But
I would agree with that.
There's a uniform allowance put in the park, or in the street.
Yeah.
For $150.
It's in all the
so-
departments, or it should be,
so,
yeah.
Right. No, I was just
Your
curious
question is
whether we
whether
need
should
to
move it over to that then?
spread that around and take some out of the cemetery, but we also need to spend street dollars too.
Sure.
We have
Right,
to spend
and I think that helps with
125% of what we get,
So
so,
long-term things, $150 is not gonna cover you.
No.
Right, it might be more of a headache to
Yeah.
move things as opposed to
Okay.
just let them be.
Yeah.
just a question.
Okay, well, it was a bad one.
It was terrible,
Don't let it
don't do it
Don't
again.
let it happen again.
You're gonna be
You
paid.
got one good one, you got one bad one, so you're.
Okay. Alright.
Wait, let me make the checks.
Yeah. 3 strikes, you're out.
Nope, nobody's out, that's not an
No, yeah,
option.
not- that's not an option.
Nice
Just
try,
gonna spank them.
nice try, Brian.
They didn't ever did they ever get metal sign posts for the avenue posts? At one point they were rotting out the
No.
I
way.
don't know
There's-
if they did,
there's
that
still
probably needs to
wood
be,
4x4s with the
followed
router,
up on.
and it's hard to see some of them.
And I don't know about any of the, I mean, the kiosk is just way down the road idea, I'm sure.
that would be
Buildings,
great,
paint,
something.
roofing,
It's a little
only so
steel
much.
building, I mean, it doesn't need paint. The only thing that,
shop at the Sexton office, so two buildings out there.
well, don't we pay for a porta potty in the summertime out there?
They get it cleaned out, yeah, once or twice a year. Just throwing it over, these carried over from probably 22.
The only thing that we should probably be putting money aside for that I can think of that's out there is eventually having to paint that new tank.
Putting money aside, it's kinda, I would just schedule to do it whichever year and use the
Make it
city
happen.
money, and
Okay.
So, you,
I think it's gonna happen this year.
I don't
We've
think
got
so.
35, I don't know, if we have money left over out of that, if the plating, water tank, and tree removal don't take 35, we could always spend it for.
Yeah.
Use it for something else.
Any other questions?
do we need new markers then, Chris, out there?
Avenue markers,
Mhm.
yeah. It does need to happen at some point. I don't know why they call them avenues out there, but whatever.
Sounds a little fancy.
Yeah.
I think that is the terminology they're using, as the standard in those.
And I have no idea what that would I mean, if we're looking for steel signs, yeah, that's not me, I think it's the dog.
I just have something that's a tickle every once in a while, I didn't know.
You're playing with each other.
I just feel like a fuzz floating,
Yeah.
you're good.
Strike three. I just wondered if the high school would be.
That's what I was just gonna say.
That, maybe that could be the next project, yeah.
And we could look that in this next year.
Mhm,
for those
that's great,
first
yeah.
years.
Give them examples and ask them
Yeah,
if they wanna
see if
consider
they-
it.
Yeah, that's a great project, okay.
This next year, so this coming year. And then they do want money for the parts, don't they? They
Yeah,
just
well,
supply-
yes,
For
they
the
just
raw-
supply the labor,
the raw
we're
steel,
gonna
yeah.
have to talk to Mr. Jones and see if it's something he's interested in undertaking, cause there's gonna be quite a few. I'm not sure, but he's got that plasma cutter, and they cut all that out, it would be pretty easy to have just a black base with it and have it cut out what avenue it is, so you can see it against the backdrop. That's all you
Yeah.
have to do, you wouldn't have to paint it.
There's some of them are missing.
Right.
Yeah,
I guess I'm
So we
assuming
gotta-
because they brought it off.
gotta get the posts or the poles or whatever we're gonna have to do, so that'll be an expense, right? Cheap.
Cause this new plotting went the entire width, right? So we
Right.
only have 15 avenues, we only go to O,
And then plus the new ones over, so
right?
So
So
you got
that
30.
you probably got them on both sides of one off, so
Mhm.
we can go count those out. I can reach out to them and see
I
what,
would, and I think it's worth the look
Yeah.
and see if we can.
we'll reach out to them and see if that's something that they'd be interested in, and
Interested in doing.
we'll ask Kevin to help us too.
I mean,
Maybe
that-
figure out exactly how many's out there and what we need to.
Right.
That is a good point, especially after last night, with deteriorating
Right.
stuff that the city owns. Let's not let
Yeah.
stuff
We need to be
deteriorate
proactive on-
anymore,
yeah.
right?
I agree on
It's
that.
easier for the next-
70,000 between the two cemetery CDs.
So we could pay for it.
If you wanna
we
bump
needed
this up to 45, then you have plenty of room to.
Yeah, we don't
Let's
have to
just-
spend it all,
Yeah,
but.
Right. Well, let's do it then,
If
that
you
way
make
we
it
know
happen,
it's
if it
there
happens.
if he can make it happen.
Okay,
I'll reach out and see what we can get
you
scheduled.
good with that?
New
Okay.
cemetery posts.
And we're thinking, looking at the same thing.
All right. Okay.
Wish we had that in every department.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Centralized with the
That'd be a good problem. Good problem. All right. Street. Street's kind of another that's pretty straightforward, there shouldn't be a lot that's changed, we've got a lot that we need to do, but we're limited on what we have available.
But our
Highway
allocation money goes
It
up.
does change a little bit.
What is highway allocations?
So that's like your,
Right.
when you register your vehicle, that kind of money.
Goes to just the highway
It-
to town, or?
It gets
It's our
laundered,
share.
it gets laundered through Lincoln and we get a portion back.
So yeah, it's like a kickback to the city. But in order to get it, we have to spend a certain amount also.
Okay,
125% of what we get.
We have to spend, so it's more of a matching. And we have to meet that in order to get it, because if we don't, then we don't get it. Also, you've heard probably plenty of times in the last 4 or 5, however many years, if we don't get our audit done in time, they hold those funds, whether we've paid or not. Those will be held until the next payment if your audit and those responsible things that we need to have done for housekeeping throughout the year. If that's not done in a timely manner, they do hold those funds. And when we run into that, that does make it very difficult to conduct business, so.
And we did get this year's now.
Yes, yes, we're good again.
So what's it going up to?
Well,
So it's just debating.
yeah.
Cause this looks like we're way behind. If we gotta hit 125%,
Right,
or actually, that's what we have to spend is 151,
correct.
and we're,
Only at 136, we need to do some spending.
15,000, which could eat that up with cement in a hurry.
And we did, I mean, this probably wouldn't show the last cement project that we did, and, cause we took care of the curb and the cement that we took out for the, leak that we had during the fire. We did take out the big hump on Third, or on Main and, around Main and Third. That, they ran all this last Tuesday, and then we did replace the, curb in front of the post office, so that is now good too. So that one load did all of those. I would really like to have, Tim and Dennis, evaluate and do some homework on Fourth, that patch on Reed, or on Fourth, between Reed and Fremont. I want them to go evaluate that. I still am worried, I don't wanna get into it and
that's the
crack
worst.
open and nasty, cause I mean, as bad as it is, something's gotta be happening underneath there.
Right,
I don't wanna open it if we can't afford to do all of it, but if
Is that
we've
where
got,
that joint buckle?
right,
Yeah.
right in front of,
I just think
Lemons.
it's a heat fracture.
Lemon's house.
I really do.
It's
That's the worst
severe.
spot in town.
so if we
by
need to
far.
dump, cement, I would really like to make that our focus.
There's
This
another one
budget.
on Main Street that's gonna be doing the same thing.
Well,
got this
we've got
weekend.
2 or
Up on
3
the hill.
that do it quite often on Main Street, but they're not near as bad as, I mean, the one on Fourth is severe.
Yeah.
But I would really like them to go and evaluate, I mean, we've got a manhole right on the end of one of that part. I would like to evaluate that is not somehow tied to another emergency that we wouldn't have the funding to cover. But if they can do that and we can crack that open and get another run of cement this year to help us meet those requirements for highway allocation, I think that would be a really great use
Absolutely.
of funds and something that we've had a lot of requests to take care of that we just haven't been able to.
I'm
So if you
really
guys are
sick
okay
and
with that,
tired
I'd like
hearing
to push
about
that.
particular
Okay,
one.
I will push that then.
definitely.
I will push that.
Mhm.
Crawford's gonna go up to 152,730.
Wow. $1,000.
Yeah,
Huh.
you know, somebody asked me a good question the other day.
Now
I
that's-
wanna research more, but it's how do all the other cities do this and get by? And so you always hear about how Dawes County has a lot, Carl knows the percent, of federal and state land is not taxed.
Right.
And so I looked up a few cities that seem somewhat comparable to us, and they get 3 times the property tax we do. I mean, they get like $600,000. Can you imagine what we can do with another $400,000 per year?
Right.
Oh, yeah, that would be huge.
But we don't have enough land that's taxed, and we're too few people, you know, but,
It's a combo, yeah.
So
now
that's
their
not our fault, that's the federal government.
municipal equalization is less than ours, but
State.
not by the same amount, you know.
State
But then what they
policy.
tell you is, well, we come in, we don't pay the taxes, but we'll come in and build your road once in a while.
Which that doesn't
Or,
happen.
not a road, a bridge.
That doesn't
When's-
happen either.
No, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, state should come.
They're squatting in our
Yeah.
county and we need to get paid, that's,
So we should go to our senator needs to be pulling his ear.
Ricketts, yeah,
Well, yeah,
yeah, good
Yeah.
luck with that.
well, I was thinking not a senator, but our representative for this area, so.
Oh, store?
Yeah,
Yeah.
or needs to be.
Well,
No,
they both could do it.
that's a federal thing. I mean,
This is a state thing here, though. This is state ground.
Yeah, but we still have enough federal ground too. I mean, it's both. It really is both.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's
all the
It needs to be-
grasslands,
Yeah, that's true,
the,
yeah.
the national forest up here,
There's
It
enough.
really hurts
It's
us.
both.
I mean,
It
we're struggling.
kills us.
it's both.
So maybe that's worth a phone call or
Now, 27,000
Wow.
we've gotten already for sales tax on vehicles.
That's higher than it's
And we
been.
budgeted 24.
That's no problem.
And here, what's this? What's going on?
I've never heard of it before.
I've
Sounds
heard that
similar
in
to-
some parts of the
In
country,
movies- in
that,
movies
that
it rains
water
sounds like
actually falls from the
I'm
sky.
telling you, you're
Have
gonna
ever heard
jinx
such
it.
a
If you
thing?
keep talking about it, you're gonna
Stop
jinx it. Ignore it. It doesn't know we're here.
We want to see it though.
Oh my god, yeah, let's go
We're
run
so
it.
excited.
Okay, what do we wanna do with sales tax? We wanna bump it up a little?
I would say so. Honestly, I think this year we're behind from what we could be with what we had happen with the fires and whatnot. I really think there's the possibility that could be, and even if not bumping it up, being what it is now.
Okay. Call it 28 maybe? Maybe we do that another month.
Yeah.
August, September, we got 2 more months. So it should hit 30.
I would
but-
think so. But I think 28 would be fair. I mean, that way if it's not, because we're not ever guaranteed that.
No.
Thoughts?
Transfers, expenses. I wonder if it wouldn't be, it's hard to say. I kinda have a spreadsheet of dividing employees out on their wages depending on historically how they spread themselves out, but that's so hit and miss.
Well, and we've had so
Which is
many
probably
changes in the
partly
last few
why-
years too.
Cemeteries is so low.
Right.
I think, well, if it'd just be easier to say Tim is all street, Kevin's all park,
Probably.
seasonals are
Yeah.
cemetery
Maybe,
maybe, but
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's something I could work on there.
So this current budget of 151,866 on the highway allocations, is that
That's what they're
including
paying
our
us?
125%, or is that
No,
just
that's
what
just what we get for.
That's just what we get, so we need
Okay.
to spend more than that.
So when the budget's all done, it should be 125% of that.
Okay, so,
You can figure out.
but,
That's what
Think-
this- I just-
Think alike.
but
I
we
would rather
haven't, we
not.
haven't paid for the concrete that we just bought either. so-
Right, and that'll help get that a little higher. You said 125%?
Yeah.
So we're looking at 199.12.
Yeah, waste of-
That's what we need to spend this year.
63,000 more.
Well,
That can't be right.
this doesn't tell you, this report doesn't tell you what all these expenses adds up to. You can see that on the budget report.
Now, I took that times the 52, which would be what we're gonna get next year, but that's, I mean, $1,000 difference than what we got this year, so it's not, it's close.
I think by the month, though, is it?
Wages, no.
No, where it's good for employees, street.
Can't get on my camera program from here. You think it could. It's like 20.
It's right there, yeah.
That's
The
ridiculous.
server's downstairs. I tried it last time.
I don't know how utilities are lower, cause our QBDs, our debt service is lower, which it should be. Didn't we make the last payment for the backhoe this year? And so that'll be,
And
we
the
won't
street
have,
sweeper.
yep, we won't have debt services on that, that'll be
I think we
nice.
have something due yet in October. It's the last day.
Yeah, I think the
No,
backhoe,
you're not good
I am
enough.
gonna be in trouble.
I think the backhoe is, the last payment is due in October, or
It's on this,
September.
it's on this calendar, it's on this budget year, but it won't be on next budget year.
Right,
This was the last year we paid on. I might have to go.
yeah, I'd say if we got room in the budget, then
I would like that to be a priority, that Fourth Street project, cause that one's been long overdue for way too long. It's been, I mean, if you hit it without knowing it, you're gonna mess something up.
Oh, yeah. And you're right, I mean, it's grown in the last year.
Yeah, it's grown even just recently, so that makes me concerned that there's more problem than just the cement. I don't wanna get into it if it's something we can't afford
Right,
in multiple departments.
well, and we've gotta do those,
But if we did that, we'd need to, if that's not gonna take an entire truck of cement, we could knock out a couple more on Main for that too, cause we try and do a full truckload because of what we end up paying on just transfer on mileage.
well, there's,
We need to make it a full truck.
it's gotta be a full truck,
Yeah.
yeah. But we've, we gotta put those storm drains in this as well for next year.
Next year, yes, cause we won't be able to do that this year, but yes, that we'll have to consider those for next year. I have secured grants that we can use in that direction, but not enough time we're working on others right now, so. But yes, I've found one or two that would match that project.
And
That we
this will be
need to
the,
look into.
fourth time we've asked for bids, and we're.
Well, the problem with that is every time it's been changed, it went from 1 to 2 to 4.
Right.
But at this point now, I'm sure all 4 are emergency level, where they weren't necessarily when they were maybe put on there.
We've gotta do these two, and, I
Hey
mean, that's
Steve,
just what,
this one down here ate the cone that was there, so.
I mean, we've gotta do those two for
I
sure.
agree, they're bad. But on it, I mean, if we can figure out how to make them happen, we probably just need to do them all. So that way we're doing it as it deteriorates and not letting it get worse, you know, like we need to be proactive in doing as much as we can as opposed to the
Well,
bare minimum.
You're not gonna get an argument from me, this is the stuff that the city should be doing.
I gave you enough ticks, you're not gonna argue with me. Are you all wore out from last night?
Their share of the CD is 8,268, so that won't even do probably one.
No, cause I think we were at 60,000 for 4.
Well, that was 2 years ago.
Right, so it's probably 80. If we're lucky.
Mhm.
So if anybody's got an extra 80 laying around,
The SDA would loan on it, but they don't have grants for that.
No,
there is, John Reed at NNDC had found 2 that we could apply, that would apply to that specific project.
For grants?
Yes,
Oh,
I just haven't opened that door yet, we've been working on these others, so. Hope to do it soon.
well, eventually we're gonna have to do another water line project, so I don't wanna get real carried away on new concrete that we have to bust up later,
Right.
but,
But that, we have to do what's necessary to make it
right.
not worse than it is.
And from what Tim told me, this main that busted on Main Street during the fire.
It needs to be completely rebuilt, cause it's way
He's-
overdue for too many breaks.
He said it's been patched and patched and patched and
Yep.
patched,
It's a mess.
and eventually we're just gonna lose the whole thing.
Which I guess I don't know when that would have originally been installed compared to any of the other existing. It probably is a very, very similar timeline. I guarantee that there's no magic timeline where that was the first one, so therefore it's the oldest. I would assume that's not the case, and if that's old, they're all old. Everything but what we redid in 17.
But then the thing is, like, if you talk about Main Street, it has no storm sewers.
Well, nothing but at the bottom.
Right. And so if you're gonna do a street project,
You need to do-
better be doing storm sewers.
Well, and if we put storm sewers up there, they'll be clogged immediately with all the dirt roads we got.
All the railroad ballast
Yes.
washing down.
Yes.
You know, I think that's probably the bigger
Yeah.
worry is to put asphalt of some sort, even if it's only 100 yards in or 50 yards in.
Something to cut back on
Something
what
to
the
cut back
runoff
with
that
the
comes off
runoff
that,
and
yeah,
stuff.
cause with the elevation that's there, you can't provide.
Well, you can just drive up there and see.
Well,
what
the
100
amount
years
of land that's
erosion
lost,
was.
yeah, I mean, some of those intersections are, they might need to be rebuilt up before we can even pave it.
So,
It's huge.
We've got stuff coming out, so.
Now, I heard where some professional city planners learned a lot just playing Sim City. And that guy,
Right? Yeah.
maybe we need to do.
Start playing Sim City.
What do we need to do
Yeah.
first?
How did you fix your town? Well,
I
let me tell you
can't
my
win, I
secret.
keep starting at the base level of Crawford, and I can't get out of that level.
Repair the street but not the storm sewers, and
Yeah.
it all fails, washes away.
Right, yeah, that makes sense. My boys are always asking for mods on Minecraft, maybe we just need to release a Crawford mod on Sims and let people play it out so they can figure it out, and then we'll take all
Okay,
the
the-
results.
The backhoe was paid off in 25, right?
I think our
October
last
25.
one was
And
this
the
last,
street sweeper was paid off, I think, in February.
I think they both had their last payment in this current budget year,
Yeah.
so that's wonderful.
Awesome.
Trying to get something.
Cross our fingers and hope they don't fall apart.
But I think a lot of that is just, we were hoping to free up credit space if we needed it, cause we're gonna, I mean, we're one accident away from getting in trouble, we're gonna need that credit space, so.
we really could use a skid steer though. What did you want me to do with that?
Is that like a Bobcat?
I mean,
Jane, you're the
fact,
clerk, you can get out of that Bobcat and get back in your office.
the fact that the city doesn't have one is
I agree, it's overdue.
right,
But,
but
no, I think a salesman just approached Tim and got that information.
I didn't bring it with me, but I mean, what do you want me to do with that? Just, oh, wow, that's a big number.
I don't think Tim.
It is rude to laugh in the salesman's face.
I mean, honestly, if we were gonna entertain something like that, then we're gonna have to go with a used, $20,000-$25,000 machine.
And honestly, you can find some really, the one we have at the shop, I think we came across that for, I think we've got a couple of them by now, but 30, 35, 40 something, and it's not, it's
I got
very
a friend of
substantial
mine
for what we
around the
need.
state that delves in all the time, and I'm sure we can find some good
Yeah.
deals. So, if we got serious, that's what we want to do.
But I think that'd be substantial enough, we wouldn't have to bite the full.
No, I mean, that's a wish list thing, I
I don't think we wanna throw that on the line of credit and we'll pay it off, yeah, that's something
Yeah.
that it'd be better for us to buy.
Let's get, one thing at a time, let's get
Yeah.
ourselves solvent here first,
Right.
and then we can start spending money.
oh, wouldn't that be so much fun if we were in that
Oh my
position?
God, yes.
And we had money to spend,
Yeah.
projects to pick. Wait a minute, isn't that what you're supposed to be doing?
Also in a street department would be the park bridge.
Yes.
So just saying, nobody feels that's pressing, but.
Well, we've had
Tony
engineers
Krex
come in the
said,
last 2
yeah.
years and say that it was supposed to be solid now,
We've had,
so.
But the river needs realigned because it is washing out that
It
west
is.
bank underneath
And
it,
it's
and eventually it's
The
gonna-
other way, it's,
Yeah, it has
that
been
whole,
for-
the whole route for the park needs to
Needs
be
to be rip
evaluated.
wrap and culvert is what needs to happen on the darn.
Yeah.
So there's a project, is that, so down at the other end, it's about to wash out our road by the big. bridge.
Correct, cause it's coming out the other
They've-
side.
NPPD has moved that power pole like 3 or 4 times now. And it's
It's-
close to the road, and I think our road goes all the way to the bridge, is that correct?
I don't really know.
I know that
It'd be
the
close.
bridge belongs to the county, but I think that,
Ours is up to the bridge, I think that sounds familiar.
so that's very pressing, I don't know, and we have a water main
In that
it's
area.
Right,
about to
right.
uncover.
Right, it has once, hasn't it?
Well,
One time.
no, the county hit it when they were down there
Oh,
Dragging
Dragging
it.
out.
dragging the river. Looking
Oh.
for a dead body. What's that?
Any grant money for that?
I can reach out to John, that's something he'd be more than happy to help us on.
So, I have been told that, NDOT has money for bridges,
Well,
but I don't know if this hey, let's be proactive,
We
why
don't
don't you
have
give
to
us some
replace a
money so
bridge.
you don't have to replace a bridge, a
And a
$1 million
road.
bridge?
I don't know, that makes
But I
sense.
don't, I'll bet you they don't do that. What actually needs to happen is that river the old channel needs to be dredged out so that it flows in
It
the
needs to.
original channel.
Corps of Engineers or somebody that governs all that stuff?
Yeah, that sounds very,
So, but this stuff that's going on outside, we get a big storm and our road is gone,
it could be,
100%.
cause it's looking hairy over there. So that and the park bridge, okay.
And the sale barns approached me to make sure that I knew about it, and Tim has mentioned it a couple of times. He said, and you know how Tim is, but he's like, this is gonna be a big problem if we don't get it addressed. So
Right, it's more of that
But-
deterioration that we need to get ahead of.
what we could do is use some, as long as we pick riprap that doesn't have rebar in it,
Correct, we can use
They
part of our
could-
pile.
they could put it in that bend, at least to stop the erosion from
Yep.
encroaching in the.
Okay,
But it
At
can't,
which place?
both or either.
right along we couldn't
You don't
do
think
it
by the bridge?
by the, park bridge, no.
But you could on the east side of the,
So what it's
By the county
doing
road.
is, if this is the road, here's the bridge, right? The river comes right through here and back and then under the bridge. Right here and then there's an NPPD pole right here, and it's just moving this way.
it's also getting to be a mess over here on
And
this.
it's,
This bank over here is a mess.
yes,
This one's,
because of
and it's
this
on
curve.
this side of the bridge, it's really encroaching that bridge there.
Because of this curve, and that's what Stacy Sweeney pointed out when he looked at it, because of this curve, it's washing
hitting
this
this
bank
hard.
out and it's gonna take this bridge out.
Right, it's both of those that's bad.
I like your idea of
That's
all
it.
that extra, that's it? I don't know if that would constitute riprap though, your cement, that's a good idea.
It's gotta be done properly though,
Correct,
otherwise.
to be.
Well, that's what I'm saying, I don't know if the state would,
Well,
And then the
let's start making
county-
calls.
Said, hey, we've got a big excavator, we could do this as a joint project.
we sure got the material.
Problem
Use
is, if you don't do this right, then you just cause a bigger issue.
Right.
Because it collects debris coming down the river and then it creates a dam.
A lot
So-
of that I've been on, they have to mat it, and then you put your riprap on it. So,
Right.
the mat's not cheap.
And the riprap has to be a
And-
certain size so
right,
that
right.
the hydropower doesn't move it.
Right.
So-
100%.
It's really gotta be an engineered project.
Yeah.
Even doing this, I talked to Wally, he just wants to throw riprap in there, but
That's not. the whole
which-
thing.
But no, we need professionals to fix it, dig that channel out so that it flows back in its original state. And
Well,
fill this.
You could do that through the entire park, I mean, honestly, if there's not a part of the park where it's not outside of the bounds of where it's supposed to be.
I just don't know where you.
'Cause even on-
get equipment in.
Even with the park bridge on the south side, it's a mess of where it's supposed to be.
So, and then the water main is somewhere right
Right.
here,
Right.
and we don't know for sure because it's not safe to get up to the edge. We don't know if it's actually
Exposed.
exposed or not. So you go dropping riprap in there.
Break that.
You could crack that, yeah, and then we'd be,
So I bring this up because now if it gets to here, then it is a street issue. But I don't know what department this falls under, but
it falls under the river department.
As far as we're concerned, I think it would be street. I mean,
Mhm.
that's the threat, the effect,
so.
the corrective action needed.
cause if it, and then
As
they've
far
got
as
their,
funding agency, I don't know what they consider it, but
well, and if it comes through here, big rainstorm and just
Which is
cuts a
very
channel,
possible, yes.
and then all that crap,
That makes it a
literal
lot harder to,
literal piles of crap washes down river. Not because they did anything wrong, because we didn't fix that.
Well, and that's if that's empty, cause if there's cattle there, that's another whole, that's a
Oh,
whole
that's-
other, that's a whole,
We truly have a crappy situation.
Mhm.
it would be really bad. That's not an insurance call we wanna make, nor do they.
It's, and
It's
Pat could
$4,300
help us
a
with that.
piece.
I've talked to, NRD and they're like, well, you can put riprap in there, that's fine, it just can't have rebar. But again, it's gotta be done proper or will cause a bigger issue.
Really, yeah.
So I don't know what to do and I don't wanna call Jack,
Right,
because just the phone call,
Is
it will
more than-
bankrupt the
well,
city.
but how many phone calls have we made with zero help? I mean, it took us over a year to get results at the rodeo ground.
Now, what they do have is they have that Terry guy in Lincoln that's their grant writer guy.
We're familiar with him. We've spoken to him a lot lately,
Yeah,
yes.
Terry Meyer.
Yes.
I guess that's a benefit to having them, if they got their own grant writer, and maybe they could find us. I don't know what to do, and it doesn't look like anybody here knows what
None
to
of us
do,
have that
but we,
specialty card, correct?
yeah,
The
We-
state of South Dakota has this in engineering that you reach out when you have bridge or road issues. Now, my issue with this is this isn't a county road, right?
It
county
is
road
until
starts
here.
right here.
So it would be a county issue if that bridge went out, but all the rest of that is
That
not
would
a
be
county
ours.
issue.
But honestly,
where
it's
my issue
affecting
is.
both of those equally. It's gonna be both of our problems here real soon.
For sure, but the state in South Dakota has an engineer department that's set up just for those things, because there's a lot of, hills that do this slough.
Mhm.
So they have to address, they have got, I don't know about the state of Nebraska, I don't know if they have an engineering department that could help you, but that's what, that they are set up to do, so I have no idea whether, who we reach out to, that's where I would go to, is I guess see if there's an engineering department to help us come up with.
I mean, this is
Plotting
roads, I would
and-
say NDOT, they have an engineer in
They
Gary,
should be able to send him up and give us
something.
something, or at least someplace to start. Like you say, who do we call?
I'll
But
start
it's,
reaching out, see who I can
but yeah, I would ask,
ask for suggestions. Like,
Yeah, see if we
I'm
can get-
asking you for who you know and who you can
yeah,
suggest.
see if we can get somebody up here to look at it.
Okay.
Give us a plan, what we need to do, and then who we need to contact.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree with you, Chris.
But
see
I don't
what
know-
you're saying.
I don't know what to tell Jane to put in the budget for, but I mean,
Right.
this is probably
This
an
would be a
issue
big,
this coming year.
if that happened, we'd have to adjust the budget anyway. So I think we proceed as what we know and what we're familiar with, because if something like that happened, we'd have to probably write into the state and have our budget adjusted for it anyway.
Right.
Really, I think even with our best guess, we'd be off and we'd have to request a change anyway, so.
I guess
And
my,
it's not like a request to change is punishable by, they take away all of our highway allocation or something like that. It's not that way. I mean, we just have to request a change and process it, but.
I mean, you can go down there right now and look at the old channel,
Right, it's really obvious.
and it changed, it moved out of this channel and developed this in 91 in the flood. And so I don't understand why this wasn't addressed then, because if you see that now the water's flowing this way instead of the way it used to, hey, yeah, that's gonna be a problem. And I don't know why it wasn't addressed then when there was FEMA money available
Right,
to
right.
redirect it.
Yeah, that could have been
Yeah.
written into our hazard mitigation.
Yeah, probably not foreseeing though, but yeah, you're right.
Potentially, yeah.
But we need to, we gotta address what we can address,
Mhm.
so I think this is something that this year we need to focus on, is getting a state, somebody up here.
To evaluate
To
it.
evaluate
Ask
it. Let's
Sarah
get
and
started.
USDA.
Right, that too.
Let's get a start on it
I
then.
don't know
we'll
if it's
do
a
that.
risk to our wellhead protection or anything, if
Well,
we end
that's-
up getting
Yeah.
sewage in there.
Right. Right.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Anything you can tie to any kind of water, USDA, I think can get you some grant, but.
the main runs right there and then under the river. So
Oh, right, so. yeah.
is that an 8-inch line, I think? Is that what Tim told me?
That's one of our more common mainline sizes, yeah.
Water runs through it.
It's great.
Oh yeah, that would contaminate. I mean,
Oh,
we,
yeah, we'd be in major trouble.
So I would say that would be a hazard to the USDA.
so should I, do you want me to call the NDOT engineer office and see if they can come up and take a look, or what's our game plan there?
I've got a couple ideas of people we can reach out to. If you're comfortable with it, I'll make a couple
Sure.
calls, and if I don't get anywhere, then I'll let you
Sure.
run that way with it next, if you're good with that.
Okay, alright.
Cause where we've got Terry, really easy to reach out to right now, and Sarah, that might be a good place to start, and we'll see where we go.
Maybe we can help
We
us.
just gotta find somebody that knows.
Yeah.
Sure, right, real experience, yeah,
Yeah,
agreed.
give us a figure and what we gotta do.
Okay. I'll shut up.
Any other bones to pick? Complaints, concerns?
Well, this is when all this
You're
stuff
right.
comes up.
But
Sorry,
again,
I didn't mean to
if-
spit
But
on
if
you.
we don't, no, you're good. But if we don't bring these up, then we're not doing our due diligence to not let things gradually fall into the river and be done and be an absolute nightmare later on. I mean, and that's what we've been sitting in for this entire term we've been here.
Let it become somebody else's issue.
Right, and it is piled high. I mean, we've been sitting in it up to our eyeballs this entire time. And it only gets worse month by month as we go. Like, we've gotta start doing what we can to just dig out. I think that's the right direction is up, so yeah.
Okay.
Don't feel bad.
You did good,
That was good.
you did good.
Well, there's also
I'll give you gold star. I'll bring gold stars next time. That way you can earn a gold star, okay?
there's also the water drainage
Oh, yes.
study that we paid $20,000 for that
Yes.
we.
That whole area needs, maybe that's tied into all of it. Because that is a city's problem too.
You know, I don't know if you're familiar with that, but we paid JEO 20 grand to come up and tell us that 80% of the water
City
flowing
runoff.
across the sale barn
Yeah.
is city runoff. But if you actually go up there, get out of your car, stand on the ground and look, I would say that 80% of our 80% is coming off of the railroad.
Oh.
But it's, yeah, that whole, everything from second, first,
Mhm.
both those bins as it comes down past the grain bins and just all the way to this area. Cause that's running into that area too. It's not helping that exact same problem.
So that brings up a great question, that drainage that's at the bottom of the railroad, is that our responsibility to make sure that's coming down, or is that the railroad?
They shut the road down. It's all coming off of what used to be, 3rd Street.
Is that our responsibility? or the railroad's?
No, that's theirs.
You're
So
talking
how is
about
it? The
on the,
drainage.
you're talking about on the east side in the bottom corner.
Mhm.
That flows, that is connected to what goes straight to our
Mhm.
sewers. That is our responsibility.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
That collects the
That's what I was-
tumbleweeds and
Yes,
everything.
yes, the one, yeah, cause Tim keeps that dug out. And there's another one on the other side, wherever street that is, it'd be just across the,
Yeah,
and there's
Yeah.
another one on that side, and that one we have to watch and dig out. We just recently dug them both out again, because with that crazy rain we got 3 weeks ago or
Right,
whatever, it plugged them all up again because we had so much runoff.
So under the underpass, there's the one.
Yes,
but
that's what I was
then,
referring to.
but then on the south side of the street, directly across, is
There's
the
another one.
concrete's all breaking out
Yes.
because that drain is,
And we have to dig it out
It's
constantly. It's all
busted.
just, It's
and
a
so
mess.
it's washing out all the dirt
Mhm.
underneath of it. And that whole road's gonna fail. And as far as I can see in our agreement with the railroad in 1948, that's their responsibility, but
good luck with that though.
yep.
Tim wanted us to build the railroad for the last hour and a half he and Kevin spent cleaning out.
They want us to build a railroad?
Yeah, I don't know, have you done any of that in the last couple of years? Okay,
Oh, build the railroad?
build a railroad, yes.
I think that's legit.
Did you used to
Not true.
build 'em?
That's what
I think
I'm
it
trying
had been done some.
trying to
Way
figure out if they
longer
have
than
any
that.
responsibility at all.
I don't know.
If we've ever done it before, I have no problem evaluating it and trying it. I mean, it's worth,
You know,
yeah, I would pay the $1 in postage to try it out. What are they gonna tell us? No? Yeah.
We're already at no.
Even if they ignore us, it doesn't change anything, but if they accidentally send us some money, I'm gonna accidentally accept it.
You're not gonna send it back?
No, everything we open, we gotta keep, it's part of the city rules. I can write up a note, put on the wall.
For some reason in my head, that was how that was they were responsible for part of that, you know.
But it very well could be, it's just, they're very hard to get a hold of
I know.
and make that happen, it's,
Exactly where you send the letter.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
and with that, they've got so many levels of supervisors, it's, well, it's not me, it's him. And that one says
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not me, it's him, and that one says it's
You
not me,
get it
it's him, and
right
before
now.
you know it, you're all the way around the table.
yeah.
What about that dial-a-truck idea? That's kind of
That's
strange,
restraint.
right?
So the way these other towns run it is they have a pickup like ours, and they have a dump trailer. Because it's easy to load, right? It's this high
Right,
versus a dump truck, which
that
is
would be
this
really
high.
hard to get stuff into, correct?
And
And then you don't have to risk somebody climbing on it and falling off or
it's
whatever.
in the interest of cleaning up Crawford. And the way they run it is you make an appointment. I mean, you know, if there's a schedule, so they have to call City Hall and schedule it. And then one of our guys drops it off, say 3 p.m. and they load it that night. And then when the guys clock in the next morning, one of them comes down, gets the pickup and
Yeah, I've
takes
done
it.
it several times in Chapman over the years.
But
Always ask for it on a Friday, that whole weekend.
So
Yeah,
Try
sure.
and fill it up.
Is there any charge on it?
no, it's free because it's just in the interest
Proactive,
of cleaning
they
up the
can
town.
happen, yeah.
But they have rules though, I mean, you can't, our guys aren't gonna go sort your trash. So it's gotta be, if it's limbs, it's limbs, if you got a
You're
bunch of
loading one
scrap
type.
metal,
Yeah,
then
that's
that's
all I
all
ever
that's in it.
find.
It's not, there's no, construction debris or anything like that, or you do get a charge. Cause if our guys have to sort it,
Yeah.
either that or we just tell them to back it up in their yard and dump it, try again, It's just an idea. I mean, before we sell that pickup, it's just an idea.
Wouldn't really be much cost to us, I guess, as far as the budget goes.
Just,
Little
It's
more
already paid
wages maybe,
for.
but
the insurance
They probably just
comes
put
with
it into their workday.
it's just, the reason that I haven't really brought it up before was because we'd have to buy a trailer.
Now,
Oh, you
so
just
you're
wouldn't
talking
do just the
about.
pickup.
Have you
We
saw
could,
a
we could
flatbed?
run it for a little bit with just the pickup,
That's what I'm
honestly.
wondering, is
You
we
could run
just
it just a
run-
little bit with just the pickup.
Just use it as
It's a
a
flatbed pickup.
Oh,
It wouldn't
well,
hold
pick a
anything.
different pickup.
That's the one that we wanna get rid of because it's a stick shift.
So does it,
Yeah,
does it have pockets on the side that a person could build some wood,
wooden.
just
Yeah, I
over?
just don't think we're gonna get much in there though, and then you got manual labor and we got,
Okay, then you just said it's
Maybe
your
this
pump,
just isn't the
just
project
right-
with that truck.
just
Maybe
not
that
the
truck's
right
still
project for it.
Still worth getting rid of.
I think it's honorable what you're trying to do. I think that's a great, cause I can think right off the top of my head, several places that could
Well,
use
and
it,
honestly,
but.
our guys don't spend a lot of time needing to have their own truck every single day. If the need exists where we still wanna run that program and they rotate through whoever's truck, whatever, whatnot, I don't see that
It's
that's
just-
terrible to ask of that either.
It's just that one has
The
a
dump.
gooseneck hitch already.
Oh.
in it.
Oh,
Well,
is
but
it
again,
there?
I think it would be worth just doing with just the pickup bed for a while, just as a trial.
I don't think that, well, I don't
Without
think that
having to buy a trailer to make,
I don't
you
think
know.
that Kevin needs more stuff to do in the summertime. And if it's just pull into the dump, hit the lever, dump it, and you're out of there, that's one thing, but when you're asking him to,
Unload a truck
I
bed.
mean, then you're talking workman's comp, if he's
Yeah.
unloading metal, it gets
Yeah.
cut or something, gotta
Fair.
take him to the ER. I don't think we wanna go down that road. If it's an easy dump, fine, but
How big is it? Is it a 6 foot bed?
Yeah, it's not an 8 foot, and it's not a bale bed or anything, it's just a flat bed.
I'm willing to look at it, I guess, Diane, I mean, I think it's a great idea, I just,
We can put on the wish list next to the skid steer.
yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
we don't have to get rid of that truck, even if we can't do this program right now, we don't have to get rid of this truck.
It's paid for.
Well,
then?
but that
It's
truck
paid
is
for.
a problem truck anyway, because of,
Because it's a
It's a-
clutch and
yes.
most people don't know how to drive.
and we don't have,
I'll buy it if it's clear.
listen to that, play damage, that's
Alright.
awesome.
So,
I guess, if it's not a cost to us anyway, and we've got a place to store it or put it, and we
Yeah.
can utilize it, and it's not just gonna sit there and not do anything, then I think as a pilot program, I agree with April, I think we just use the vehicle. If we have to put some signs on it or something, what do we gotta do?
so it costs us right now $589 a year in license, in insurance.
Yeah, I just don't
Sure.
think, I think in the long term, it would pay for itself, so. As a pilot program, I think we could try it. And just use, like you said, just use the pickup. We'll build some sides for it if it's got the pockets, it's not that hard to put some 2x8s and something. Yeah,
Kevin does have a trailer, but it's not a dump.
Yeah, see, and I think we need to.
But I think the more room you give them, the more they're gonna fill it. It'd be better for them to rent it one day, fill it, that's not your whole project, rent it for another day, fill it
Well,
again.
there's
And it keeps it less that our guy has to go unload in one day too. It gives him something to pace.
There's people that have old sofas or they
Right.
have
They just-
refrigerators or just junk sitting out front, they don't have a means.
A way to get that, yeah.
So I think this is.
But they have to load it, that's the thing.
That's gonna be an issue, but you always got family, right? This is, well.
He does.
Most of them are dead though.
Well, I think there's still a lot more. Dial a deed is what we're gonna call it.
Alright, yeah, I think we'll just pull it then and keep it.
I am concerned because I had to help him with his last refrigerator. I have a feeling I'm gonna get a call if that's the case. Dial a deed might really backfire. Alright.
So we won't budget anything for that, just keep the truck then.
Well, probably
Or
have
do
to
we-
budget some gas for it, don't we? Do we have to, I mean, has it gotta be on its own line item? Do we have to
No.
keep it separate?
Or do we just,
We just keep the truck
since they've,
and,
I don't know, in the time that I've lived here in Crawford, I think they've put 3 clutches in that
Yes,
pickup.
at least.
becomes that
So-
time it becomes a junk?
So maybe we
Run it
just,
till it goes out again.
Yeah.
And then it's done.
The repairs to vehicles at 7,000.
Yeah, I
On
wouldn't
this
put it,
budget.
I mean, let's run it a year, see what use it is. The other thing is you have to figure out is the advertising for it. That'll have to be added on there, I guess. 'Cause
Put it
you'll
on our
have-
The
website and
Facebook
that's it.
website and utility
See if-
bill message.
See, maybe
Yeah.
you can read that bill. Well, utility bill, I think that's a great idea.
Our website doesn't do too bad, and
Does it?
if we refer on the, don't get scared, that's still right.
It's a stampede.
If we refer to on the utility to check out our website, that's one way that, you
Yeah.
can do the initial message on the utility and then all of the message, the information on the website. So it can be, the website's more of a reference as opposed to,
Okay,
and then we've been trying to funnel the Facebook too. I know when we had the fires, I did everything I could to share every bit of that on the Facebook page to generate foot traffic on
I've
this
seen that, yeah.
on the Facebook page, so that way we can use it to be more of an announcement thing and get more announcements out that are strictly city related.
what do they use in Chadron? Do they have a pickup with a trailer or?
Yeah, I think it would be call it a small dump truck, but you can open the back, tailgate thing like a pickup, but it did have higher sides, and I think it did.
Maybe it's better to use
But,
our dump truck for it then. I mean, we don't have a huge dump truck.
It's tall enough, that would be hard to load though.
We're better
I
off.
was throwing stuff up over the
Trying to
side.
lift her chair in there.
Yeah. Heave my refrigerator over top. Yeah, I think, we'll try it a pilot, we'll see what happens, Chris.
Okay.
I think it's a good idea. What do we have here?
I know it seems like I'm having fun, but
Yeah.
it's normal fun. We're just really funny tonight.
I'm starting to think it was vodka giggles.
I tell you,
I don't know.
last night's Red Bull would have been great that way.
Chugging it like with beer.
That's a great idea. Why didn't I ever think of
I was
that?
trying to keep my mouth.
Put vodka in my Red Bull. Think have a good
You've
old
never had
time.
that? It's
No,
really
it's a
yummy.
great idea.
It's great. I mean, I didn't do it, but you
No,
know, when you
but
go to the
that's-
bar and order it, it's yummy.
Yeah, I
yes.
think it sounds
We're
pretty
gonna
good.
have to have a
I
breathalyzer
know.
before every meeting.
That's the great thing about vodka, you can't smell it.
I don't know, I think you can still smell it.
Okay, Jane, you wanna go home, right? So where are we at?
We're way over what I asked
Yeah,
for.
that's what I can tell you, this, you're the one that said, you jinxed it, it's your
I
fault.
know. We're way over.
Fuel
I said
depreciation,
we were gonna do 10,
contractual
15 minutes,
services,
it's
what
already
do
been an
we,
hour.
are we changing?
I think we
wages?
better bump fuel up
Yeah, just
to
in
about
general,
10,000.
Yeah, I do too,
probably.
the way it's going.
Yeah, we're only at 2,300 now.
That's interesting.
We've only expended 2,300 this year?
On a $6,000
No
budget.
way.
He needed tires for that loader for a while, so that.
Oh,
kept
and
him
we
from
need to, I need to remind him, I
Maybe
think it's the diesel bulk tank at the street shop. That he said there's no point in refilling it, they don't use it, it's been sitting in there so long, he doesn't even
It's
know if
not
it's any
probably
good.
great, yeah.
So, should we even put out bids for that, since we're in the process?
If we're not
of
filling
doing
it, yeah.
So where does he fuel the
Well,
loader?
the diesel, they must do.
Westcott or
Pine Ridge.
Pine Ridge, whatever, whoever
I've
has the
seen
bid.
several
No.
times on there.
They don't, Pine Ridge does not, bid on fuel.
So do
And,
Westcott then.
and so Westco gets it, but our guys are buying fuel, at Jason's and at Pine Ridge. I mean, look at our
Well,
warrants.
the
Right,
clear,
our
the
warrants.
clear fuel for the mowers, I know
Yeah,
they go
those
to-
are both those.
They have to go to like Hauser's.
But
But it,
I wonder
shouldn't
if they're
it
not
be
doing diesel for that
whoever
too.
gets the fuel bid, that's where all of our business is
But if
supposed
they,
to go,
but Wesco
right?
doesn't have clear fuel.
Yeah, they do. They have non-ethanol.
Well, that's the story I used to get told. They went to
Yeah, they have
Saddle
non-ethanol.
Rock, I think, or Pine Ridge, something.
And no-
for
and
the-
nothing
for the
against-
mower fuel.
Nothing against our other businesses, but I thought that's the way this worked, is in order to get the city's business, you have to bid on the
Well,
prices.
that was my understanding is, cause then we got to keep that price.
Yeah, unless they
So
don't offer
since,
something.
since when
Like we
is
have-
Pine Ridge not,
They don't, because of
They haven't
they haven't bid,
when I was on
They-
council, we had an account with them.
Right, but they haven't
They can't,
been
yeah,
last
but
few
they
years,
don't,
so.
because they, for one thing, they're not an ultimate vendor, which means an ultimate vendor can file all the tax and stuff, tax exempt stuff
Yeah, they used to have
on their
that.
own. And, so it saves us having to do it, and Westco has the tank, provides tanks, some of the tanks, a couple of them for $48 a year rent, and some of them are no charge.
Wow.
So if we didn't go with them, we'd have to replace those tanks. So
And the
I-
only other game for propane is bacon, so
And
then
they-
we'd have to rent tanks from, unless
yeah,
we
and they
bought
couldn't
tanks.
provide tanks, so.
But, and nothing against Randy Bacon, but Westco supplies jobs in Crawford, and I would rather keep my business with Westco than someone from Clinton.
That's true. What are we gonna do with the tank with the fuel that we can't use sitting?
We should put that on the surplus sale.
Okay, good.
With the fuel included?
Oh,
There you go. At your own risk.
Yeah, if it's ours.
Rocket
I
fuel.
don't know.
Yeah.
well, true, if
One
it's
of
not
those
ours,
is
they can come in
Westco's.
and get it,
I
yeah.
had that with the council meeting packet.
Okay.
So,
I mean, maybe that's an Adam question as far as
Might
the
be
bid stuff goes,
clarification.
but yes, I've bought, clear gas at Westco for my lawnmowers.
okay.
They have
I don't
not,
know
they
why
have
do
non-ethanol,
hazards.
so. It's probably, it probably needs to be something that comes down from the council that
Once you
whoever
go
gets
with
the
that,
bid, that's.
Yeah, we
that's
probably
who
need
all
to
the-
get clarification if it's not there on that way.
I was absent one day. Going to take them down. And it was decided years ago that they just kind of violate that bid and buy gas wherever they wanted, and when Wesco found out
Yeah, that's not, that's
it was
not
a
lawful.
volatile situation.
Yeah, that's not good.
But I thought that they were always getting the lower gas elsewhere. And I don't know if Wesco always had clear fuel, or is that something new? I don't know.
I don't know,
So I don't know why they're, or unless it's hours.
Trying to
You
remember
use your
what we
card
had
at
for
the
this.
time, well, but they're
Yeah,
employed
they're-
during business hours, so.
Right.
they're,
I don't know.
they're the only pay at the pump place in town, you can
Correct.
get it anytime.
Mhm.
Well, I think the diesel, it's the one that he said they haven't used, and I think it's just that they're getting it at the pump. But I can check them.
I'm sorry for the other businesses, but I think that needs to be our policy, and if they want the city's business, then they'll have to bid.
Yeah, that's fair to everybody.
I guess I assume that's what we were doing, so, but we need to clarify what they are doing and that it matches what we have for bids.
And I
Because
don't
if that's
think
not
you
the
have
case,
do
they need to-
bids. You can just say, this year we're gonna go with Hauser, this year we're gonna go with Wesco.
Sure.
You know, but
But even then, like,
You
I was under the understanding we did that was all bid and it was, they were to be
Yeah, I
using
thought
it
it
under
was-
the bids,
I
so.
thought it was statute that we had to bid out our fuel.
I think Adam
Well,
said
that's when they were
we're-
doing bulk tank. If you're buying it right off the pump though, that's a whole different deal.
But they do give us a discount. Wesco does give us
And
a
off the
discount
pump,
at the
yeah.
pump,
Yeah,
so that
It
means
just
that,
floors me, so I'm still stuck on Pine Ridge. I just don't, I mean, they're our local supplier of fuel and they're local business. Why are they not, over a technicality, I would like to talk to Jamie and see why. I mean, I would think that would be a huge boon for a local business.
We-
And they employ all local people.
we've
So-
asked her every year that I've been on the council, and
That's just
we
floors me.
don't bid.
Okay, well, then let's go with it is. Can't change if they don't want it. That just amazes me,
Okay.
So,
but. Do we leave it at 6,000 then, since we've only expended $2,300?
I would think it needs to go,
Well,
maybe we put it
it
back
might
at 8, cause
be
we
two,
had the 8 for a long
years
time.
ago, we expended 68.30, and we haven't ever seen fuel prices this high, so I think we need to bump it.
I do too.
I think we need to go at least 8,
Yeah,
If
maybe
not-
8 would be a little more,
if not 9.
Yeah, 8,000 probably.
I mean, we were close to 7
yeah.
2 years ago, and I don't remember what
Of course,
fuel
we
prices
didn't have a
were.
lot of
We
snow
didn't have
this
any
year,
snow
so we didn't
this
have a
last
lot
year,
of.
so we didn't have any of that loud, that's a big,
Yeah, that's.
Right.
and we may be about due for a full up.
sure, that too.
Yeah, so let's do 8,000, I think that's a good idea.
We do have a line item here that says sidewalk and concrete repairs, that is broke out then? Or is that one of those awkward ones that
That's another one
accidentally
of
got,
those that they just,
broke out too much and
decided
it
to
was not worth having it?
I mean, if you look at Park,
Right.
I got through revenues, I think,
Mhm.
but what happened was, and everybody's got their story of who to blame, but
Sure.
what happened was it was decided to create a whole bunch of very specific line items for different departments. Maybe thinking it would help with grants, but I've never seen that play into it really. So we have line items, and the clerks probably didn't know at the time, you just have to go through the chart of accounts, which has every department's line items, revenue and expenses, and you have to go through each one and see what line items have not been used yet. Because what they did is they reused numbers
Yeah, that were
like,
tied to.
that were already being used in, say, golf. And so there is one report where it's gonna show the one description, but then another description, and that's gonna do nothing but cause
I think they were hoping to,
and lack of faith.
I
in
think
what
they
we're
were
doing.
hoping to break
So
those
the
out so
auditor-
we had more obvious of what we'd spent where, but we can still run reports to do that. We
Yeah.
really don't have to break that out into line items.
Into irrigation
And that was
repairs.
Part of what was
and-
argued at the time to go some of those
Okay.
different.
So the auditor agreed that it would be best practice to clean that up.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure, now that you've got charges in that line item. Cause, and it can also be easy to say, what do we spend across the board for insurance? You look up 5,900 and it'll give you all the departments, you know, and that's what you, but if you've got other things thrown into 5,900, then you can't get a clear, easy picture. So it's just a messy way to have done it. So sidewalk concrete repairs, 6204 is used for other
That's
things
one of
as
those other
well.
ones, right, yeah.
Um,
Cause we had it considered in our overall.
Yeah, we always figured street repairs to systems
Right,
was
overall.
sidewalk and street repairs, you know, that's the streets system.
Boy, we only have, what, 20,000 on this year's budget, and we don't have anything submitted for that yet, which they've been doing what they can not to dig into things. Was that really for the first cement run we've had this year? My God, it's sad.
The only concrete that we ever pour is when we have a water main break.
It really is anymore.
Well, usually come early September, maybe August, I would start looking at and see what they have left, do they
To
need to
spend,
spend for
right,
the
and that's what we're doing right
125%.
now, yeah.
And if there was something on Tim's wish almost need list, you know, that's when you can get it. If you play it tight, which I heard one comment once, how we just, when it got close to the end, we just spend money like crazy. No, you run a tight ship all
So that you
year
have money
because
to
something can
spend for
happen.
something legit too.
And then if nothing happened and you need to spend a little, which really streets about the only department,
Right.
then maybe you can get something that you do need, but you've been doing without.
Do we know what he's spent so far on gravel this year? Cause I know he's always behind on that, but he's been trying to keep that tight too. Is that the
$3,030.
Yeah, he's done a good job keeping that tight too, cause we gave him a lot more than that. But I know it really, that last rain we got so much at once really destroyed some streets here in town, we need to. But again, we've gotta get enough rain where he can do something with it, I mean, you can't do anything when it's dry immediately again, cause then you'll make it more of a mess if you touch it, so.
Okay, here's a question. So a couple weeks ago, Jane, I told you that, the grader is down to one belt. And it's gonna be quite costly because they gotta disassemble half the grader to
get to the
replace the
belt.
belts. So did he do that yet? Do you know?
Is that
I
part of
think
what
they're
that
still
we approved?
talking
No,
about,
that was
there's
the air conditioning in the
yes,
loader.
yes,
yes.
there's a guy that's doing work
Yes,
that the county uses.
and Swan uses.
Get a quote on that,
Yeah, and so we've got his,
maybe
and
we can get
Jody
that before
was,
the end of the year.
you know, supporting going that route. She felt Tim was a little hesitant, but he's not here to answer to that, so,
Right.
And the reason is because he's a lot cheaper than Cat or Murphy. And he
That's
used to
fair.
work for
One
I
of
think
them?
he
yeah,
used to work
Murphy,
for,
I think,
yeah.
I was told.
And so Swan uses him, all the time now.
And there's
The
no,
county uses him,
there's no warranty issue on that grader, so.
no,
Right, we're not running into that,
and he's out of Shadron, not out of Scotts Bluffs.
so it's
Who are you
not
talking
crazy mileage.
Can't remember his name.
Is he on the west side town?
Walter Field.
Oh, it's not around there, 'cause what I'm thinking of, he's impossible to get a hold of. He's busy, so busy, so.
But that's
He's in Wilson,
something
It's not Walter.
that if he's down to one belt, it's
Yeah.
it's
It's
kind of,
sufficient,
I don't think we can wait until next year, I think it's gotta be done right now.
Yeah. We can ask Tim to
Certainly
get
this
that
fiscal
quoted.
year, yeah.
So is that going into supplies or is it for repairs?
Repairs, maintenance, something.
Cause there's zero budgeted, is that right?
The repairs to vehicles had 7.
Okay, I'm looking at equipment repairs, that's where we got so many different
And what'd you say that was on?
Equipment.
The grader,
equipment, we've expended 1289, but there's zero budgeted, we've got 7,000 out of the.
So we just spent, what, 3,600 on the air conditioner and the loader?
That's gonna be that weird specific one.
That's
we
what
don't
I'm
use.
wondering.
Yes, that's what that is, so we're only going off of this, the
This
big
one
one
right
here.
here.
Yeah,
Okay.
correct, yes.
Perfect.
I don't know if that job could be done for $4,000 or not, but
What's this?
That
grader.
doesn't seem unreasonable, honestly. I mean, it could be more than that, but 4,000 would be
To fix, AC?
no.
to
put
replace
new-
that belt,
New
On
belts.
the grader.
cause they've
It's
gotta
gotta be
remove so much.
4,000. The belt's probably running about $250, $300.
Yeah, but
It's
because
got,
it's,
what,
you
4
have
or
to,
5 belts, so
you have to
we're down
drop
to
as much
one.
as you do.
It's
to
an
get
old enough
into
grader,
it
it's not a
also.
serpentine.
It's not a serpentine.
Mm-mm.
No.
Really?
So
That
you gotta,
grader's that old?
so, yeah, and so they gotta disassemble like half of
So
this.
it's gonna be labor heavy,
Yeah.
is what it is.
Okay. Yeah, shop hours, what, 180 right now? Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous.
But
It's crazy.
that, we really gotta, I mean, definitely before, snow gets here, but, you know, Tim's been out grading some of the gravel roads, and if that thing snaps, then that's where the grader sits. Windrow and everything.
So we gotta haul it over there to get it fixed?
No, he's got a mobile truck, he can come fix it here.
Well, then,
I just think we need to get it done.
Yeah.
Not
I mean, we
next
got
year,
the-
I think we need
we
to
got
get
the
it done
funds to
right
do it,
now.
just we'll get it
I'll reach
done.
out to Tim.
Yeah. And I really would stress using the guy out of Shattern and not
Especially if it's,
Murphy, if we can get him.
I don't know him, I guess. I don't
Do
know.
we wanna tell Tim to have him do any other belts that might need it while they're tearing it apart anyway?
Well, for sure, if you're
If
in
you got
there,
it
you
apart,
replace them all.
whatever it needs.
You
Yeah.
replace all of
We
them.
can okay
Yeah,
that
and
then.
check all the pulleys and.
Well,
everything
he's
else.
gonna get a quote, and we'd okay the quote through a
Okay.
meeting, is what that would be.
Okay.
So August 11th. we should have a
Questions?
quote.
Any questions?
Put me down.
I mean,
What column? I know I
I'm
just made a
straight,
column,
yeah.
we'll call it in the middle.
I'd just as soon not pay somebody to come out of Scotts Bluff to
Yeah,
do it.
yeah, no, we don't need to
And-
waste anything on mileage if we
and I
got
would-
somebody
I
that close.
I would really like to stress to him, let's try this guy and see
Okay.
if we can save some money by using him.
So you're not gonna bid it, you're just gonna give it to one guy then?
We don't have to
We
bid
don't have
anything
to bid
over
it.
30, that's changed, it's now
That's
90.
90.
Yeah.
So this shouldn't be anything near that, but we
No.
still want Tim to get a quote from him and then us approve a quote through the meeting, cause it's gonna be more than what
Okay.
our standard is for the mayor to just approve it. to happen,
I'm
so.
with you, okay.
And he's more
Ryan?
local.
We're all set, let's go home. We're
It
done.
sounds like we did good, alright, everybody's good, right?
I would rather support a local, small
Sure.
business owner than some big outfit out of Scotts Bluff.
Chris, too.
All right.
Difficult.
Where we at now?
I think we've covered about everything.
Well, if you guys keep talking, I'll
I
still
have a-
remember
I have a-
everything else that Tim told me.
I have a
Right, right.
request, and we haven't been able to get it on here, but the rodeo grounds, I really wanna get this board up and going. We've got other issues, which I agree with. I
That's gonna be
understand.
park.
The rodeo grounds will be?
Yes, yeah, yes,
Okay,
yes, that'll be park.
cause I would like to see some gravel, them pads put in there to
That'll be park.
update and fix those. That's where this board's concerned. There is so much possibility in there for camping spots. I don't need to go into that spot, but I just wanna say this. When we get that.
When we get there, we'll let you.
Okay.
I'll keep my pen handy for
I
the
just said
section.
rodeo ground, so I was all excited.
I know, it's a rodeo
I'm
ground.
excited you can read.
Oh my
That's
god.
encouraging.
You get a check now.
Okay, alright. Well, I felt left out. I mean, everybody else got one.
Alright. How do we figure our supplies? I mean,
Guesstimation
What-
on
what-
project, what we've used in the past.
what
is really
would constitute supplies though? I mean,
fuel filters, oil,
okay, that's
Yeah,
what, but that's under
consumables.
maintenance, right?
not necessarily.
That's kind of a judgment call, yeah,
If we're doing the maintenance ourselves, I would call that supplies. If we're paying
Somebody else to do
Murphy
it,
to
then it
come
would
up
be
and,
maintenance.
and then it's maintenance.
Yeah.
That's how I would read it.
Yeah.
And equipment? Well, gravel, we ought to just leave it where it's at, I think.
Yeah.
We still haven't spent 5, so 80, 50, I think is pretty good.
Yeah.
The equipment though that's when we've this, so this is the payments that we made, is that correct? For
That's the final.
last ones.
Yeah, we don't have that
So
as
we
a
don't
charge
have, we
anymore.
don't.
We don't have to
We don't
budget
have
that.
that 17, we've got that as.
Well, equipment should, well, the payments on stuff should be down in debt service and interest.
Correct.
It's 9,700.
So what's the equipment?
I think that was part of that weird that they tried to break out
Okay.
thing.
But they had spent 17.
Yes.
20. My computer died.
Stupid computer.
Yeah, it doesn't, the battery doesn't last very long anymore.
That's 3,
It's not
isn't it?
plugged in.
It was the first one for the
Oh,
computer.
the computer. So
You don't
that
get to
you
leave
think,
yet. Nice try.
It was 32 this year. I don't know what they were using it
okay,
But really, we don't, I mean, if we paid off
I
the
think-
street sweeper, that was the only thing we had, that and the backhoe. And we made the last 2 payments on those this year.
have we
Did
bought
they
any
buy
other
a big
equipment?
piece?
No.
Big piece?
The last thing that we bought that was large, well,
Was
the
the
last 2
street
things
sweeper.
was the street sweeper
Is
and then that
64,
dirt digger
75.
ditch whatnot for the water. What was
Oh,
it?
the vac,
The,
the vac?
yeah,
Yeah.
the back digger, whatever it was.
When was
Suck
that?
on a rubber.
Last year?
I think we paid for that the last 2 years.
No, it was,
2 years ago?
When Dan, it was right
Yes,
before
Dan
Dan
would, yeah,
quit.
I'm sorry, it's all blur.
I know,
I know it runs.
I know, you gotta start thinking of which employees were around to.
I don't even
Or,
know if that
or
helps
which
anymore.
council member was still.
That's
God.
80 times what it should
Yeah.
have.
That's the only way I can.
Which 16 in the 4-year Great. Yes, I
Good job, by the way, for sticking around, I really appreciate it.
I'm gonna erase that check I gave you.
You don't even good.
You don't have any at all.
You don't have any.
Well, it's so entertaining, love it.
Well, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to entertain you, to keep you around.
There you go.
I think I would like to take that and put it in for, that amount looks good for our project,
Our new,
for the shop area.
Oh, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
I don't know when.
Yeah,
when-
that's
For that
2
portion
years
of
ago.
it,
What did we spend that on 2 years ago?
that's what was budgeted, but we didn't spend anything.
How did we budget that? Well, that was that wish list year.
That was when, what's their names, was our,
Scout. What's Scout's boss?
yeah,
Yeah, and him too.
Michael,
Flippy Slappy. Samsonite.
Yeah. that's
That was
what,
that was a lot of wish list
well,
stuff, I
he's,
think.
that's what he said was, you know, you put
Put it in there in
you
case.
pad your,
Right.
budgets in capital improvements. So I would like to, on this budget, I think that's probably a fair number to put in. It's a lot of concrete, a lot of, I don't know if
All new parking lot, lean-to for storage.
where you
office.
where you coming up with this?
Where are you gonna put it?
it's just capital improvement
I know, but how do you budget in with something you don't have though?
for,
What?
well, because that could be used,
You're trying to
capital
sell-
improvement could be used as, possible grant money or loan money or something like that.
That's exactly what that meant here.
Mm-hmm. Someone wore off.
Final payment on the street sweeper is what that 17,000.
Let's play a game.
That 17,000 was the final payment on the street.
Gotcha,
Awesome.
so that is, yeah, that's a boom.
I think we were kind of figuring overall with the budget, April and I talked anyway, maybe every department needs to stick with what they had this year. And,
Mhm.
because we'll get more in municipal equalization, I think about 17,000. But most of that will be, with cost of living raises, which I
And it has been at minimum at, what, 3 to 4 years since we've been able to even touch those or offer them.
Yeah,
And so we're overdue.
we've got to,
That has to happen this year.
we have to give
I think
cost of living.
that makes sense to me.
Yeah, we're overdue for that. So that will eat a lot of our new funds.
Can capital improvements go toward the pipes under the street if we need it and stuff like that?
I don't think we can even budget it in though, it's not.
Well, but what Chris is saying is if you can come up with a project and then you come up with the funding, then you have it worked into the budget so that you can use it, and that's what that would be. That would be,
Capital improvements.
that would be
So when-
proposed.
Capital outlay at least is anything
Sure.
over 5,000.
Mhm.
So,
Capital improvements might get confusing because you can use those as an exception to your lid, but if you don't do that project, they
Right.
take it off your
It,
money the next year.
right, so
So,
maybe it needs to be
Kinda like to
outlaid.
leave capital improvements alone, so nothing gets confused there, but capital outlay, we set several years ago a $5,000 threshold for, that way the auditors can look there and see all the big expenses, is there any of them they need to depreciate, you know, stuff like that.
so, okay, well, when Michael Scow was helping us with budgets a couple of years ago, he said to put that in capital improvements, but
I agree with you, James.
yeah,
but outlay would
I'm
be
not arguing
less
that with
risk.
you, but I would like to see that number, put into then capital outlay then, just in case we're able to, tackle our project.
That old 151,817.
How do they come up with an odd number like that?
I don't know.
But that would be, cause then we could, if we got grant money or a loan,
Did they have a
Then-
specific project they had in mind for this, that they had
No.
a bid for it?
no, he just told us,
No,
he
he
went through
didn't.
every
This does at
GL
the
on
moment,
the
yes,
budget
but
and we
this one
put,
wasn't.
Right.
This
put
one
money into that,
That
just,
was a lot of wish list items. is
Well,
what
I
it ended up
understand that, but
being.
that's what I'm trying, I
Why
understand
not
where you're coming at,
150?
'cause,
Why
huh?
not
Yeah,
150?
Yeah, and how
You're
do
not
you,
gonna be able to understand that at that time, cause I'll tell you that, we didn't understand it either.
No.
You're, that's not gonna
this is
be.
way over my pay grade?
No,
it was
it's
over
just,
everybody.
you're
Yeah, I
using
can't,
logic.
I can't there you go, I can't
You're using it
logically,
and that will not compute in that way.
but doesn't
it
that
just
just
won't.
throw your budget completely off though?
Not
At the
necessarily.
end?
No, not necessarily.
No, because the way he explained it was that's a just in
Our
case
budget is what
you get a
we
grant or a loan.
project to the
I
state.
understand
It's
that,
not
but that's like
necessarily what we
April said
spend.
before, okay, you do have a big project that comes up, then you resubmit your budget.
If you don't have it already in your budget, you have to resubmit your budget.
Which does cost you more money
Yes,
Okay.
for the
yes.
budget accountant.
yes. So if you have an idea
Yeah,
of it,
yeah,
it's
another
best
year
to, it's best to pad it in there.
And
And if you don't use it, you're not punished, but if you
Yeah,
have to
that's
use it,
why-
then you.
understand, okay,
That-
okay, let's get to the facts, how many grants have we used in the last 10 years, 5 years? That
Not
are
much.
this, yeah, that are this substantial.
Not
So,
much.
I mean, is this, realistically, I understand where you're getting at, but right now, we're trying to watch every penny, and we're this close to getting ourselves solvent. So is this the year to budget for something that we don't have, in case of something we might have?
Okay, but you're thinking in the terms of budget that we have the money and that we're also spending the money. This is the budget as of, we don't have the money, so we can't spend it yet, but we're putting it in the budget so
In
that if
case
the
it
money
ever
comes in, we can spend it.
Well, how many times throughout the year do we hear, oh, there's this grant available? And then, well, we,
Okay, well,
even if we got it, then we couldn't spend it because we didn't put it in the
And
budget.
usually we just write those in and out as grant revenue and grant
Correct.
expenses,
Yes.
so.
So in a sense, your budget balance is.
well, that's
is
what
what-
she just said, but we could do the same as a grant.
But
in and
honestly, I
grant
mean,
out.
the way he talked to us was, hey, if you want a skid steer, even if you don't get it, you should put it in your budget.
Really?
But you have to kind of.
But that was also the year that our budget had,
You know.
it was almost
It's really hard
$2
to.
million more than what we make.
So
and
this
I mean,
capital
that
outlay,
year was,
is
And
kind
then
of,
and then it confused employees, cause they're like, well, that's not what my budget says. Well, you don't have your budget, you have your department's funds, but that's not the budget. Those are two separate things.
so
So
the capital
that
outlay would be
became
like
a problem.
it would be a freebie line to where we don't get penalized for putting it in there and not using it. Is that
Oh, yeah, you don't get penalized for not using it.
right? It's a freebie line, so we should definitely put money into that line. Or numbers, rather, I mean,
So it doesn't mean we have to have
the
Right, I
where you
understand
were
that.
planning
Does that
on
help?
getting
Yeah, I
revenue.
understand that.
You know, was it a loan, was it a grant, was it,
could be both.
I mean,
But that would be.
because
that
it
would
does
be-
make everything more confusing though, because
That
they'll.
would
It
be a
does.
grant
It does.
in
Look at
and a
these
grant
line
out, and
items.
then all of a sudden you're having to figure out how that goes in
And
the
you have
outlay.
to remind every department that, yeah, we budgeted for some item,
It doesn't mean.
it was
That
only
doesn't mean it's
offset,
available.
it was only offset with grant money, and we haven't gotten the grant money, so.
And we've worked that impossible line 3 years now to get them to understand. That's why
But we don't,
that's why we kind of did it goofy last year. Is you only have what we gave you, and anything you want above that has to be written in as grant, so that way you know what that budget number is. Because everybody wants to call it budget.
and we
Well, I
also
mean, they
don't,
want to call all of it budget.
we don't have a street board
Correct.
that is gonna look at that and go, oh.
New roads for everybody. That'd be great.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Well, I was, even when Dan Bryan was here, I got a call, I worked with Jeannie a little bit, probably on the treasurer's reports.
Mhm.
So I was up at the Rapid City Hospital and, got a call from her, and he was sitting in on the speakerphone, and he didn't understand the budget either, and nothing against him, it's confusing.
Yeah.
Well, these things were in the budget, and everything, I said, but it's a wish list budget,
Yes.
and the money is not really there.
There's
And
almost multiple
unless
levels
you're
of it.
getting it from
Right.
a grant or a loan or something.
We almost need
So
to come
it's
up with
really
different
confusing
vocabulary for actual monies budget
Mhm.
and what we submit to the
Mhm.
state being called something other than a
Mhm.
budget.
And
So
even-
that way you can say, this is our straight requested funding would be including all the wish lists and everything. And then what we call budget is real monies that come in and out of the city that can be used within that department.
See, and that's what I
That
thought
would
this
make
was all
more
about
sense.
all along here, was this is real money.
No.
And I think Mike Scow was using like, to offset it was all the CD money, all the, I mean, sure.
But even then, that
that's
never,
not-
that still never made,
Well, that's what
it's still never added to that, cause
Yeah,
I see it was
we
the
were
same way.
millions over what we actually had for cash
Oh,
value or
yeah.
anything,
Yeah.
millions.
Telling us all this money we had, and I'm going, no, we don't.
No,
I
that's
know we
not
don't,
money,
'cause
yeah,
I
that's
was-
not
it's
money.
not there.
It was just, it needs
So
a different
that's what-
vocabulary word than budget, cause it's
Yeah.
what, it's the
Well, that's what I'm wondering.
range submitted to the
the
state,
spending
Should
authority.
and the budget for the city is actual cash
But that's what,
on
okay,
hand.
that's in my head, that's what we're here for, is to figure out actually what the actual
No,
bottom dollar.
we are here to generate what we submit to the state, with in mind what we have for cash value and what we can spend. But we need to consider if something else comes up to work it in, so that we don't have to resubmit a budget.
And that's why we
Cause that's
pad,
the state's, what the state asks from us.
we,
It's
like,
a little
crazy.
different than what we
That is
do with
just-
this. Right,
Yeah.
right.
I can't wrap
just,
my
just
head
like the
I mean, if
fuel
you go
line,
budget your business, you don't go budget on something you might get.
no, but just like that fuel line,
But you also don't have
we,
the requirements that the city has to submit if you change your
we need to
budget.
pad that line a little bit.
Grandma
so
dies
that
and
we
you
don't
inherit
go
$100,000,
over budget,
you don't have to
because that's-
resubmit a budget to the
that's
state.
bad.
The
Right,
city does.
Right, you're right, yeah.
So
you're right.
that is the difference,
I
and that is
understand
why
that
we
part.
have to do the goofy.
I understand that part.
Sure.
Yeah, I get that. So in that, with that being said, yeah, I understand. I guess
It makes a little
you
more
you
sense.
should probably budget in, but it's still goofy. to
We,
me.
it just,
And the
we
new
almost need to
auditors.
have different terms for each
Different
level, so
vocabulary,
that
right.
way you have city budget, and then you have state submitted.
Yeah, and the new,
Funding.
and the new
Yeah.
auditor that's also doing the budget,
Mhm.
the same company, they send different numbers. It used to be, I could look
They're
at
all a little different.
Gardner, Lautzenheiser, and Ryan's, I could look
Makes sense,
at
but-
the breakdown, and I knew which departments made up community and recreation or whatever, and it would match what we gave them,
Mhm.
you know. But,
With this
The
being
new-
said,
new
we don't
guys,
pay
it's
you
like-
near enough. Makes
Well,
sense
you
of
don't
that.
get enough property tax revenue to pay.
Jeez. So I guess with what you're saying, Chris, is you'd like to see the capital outlay go to 152,000 then, or
Yeah.
150,000? Can you
Yeah.
make it even so we don't have, I don't know why we have
Sure, 152.
152,000.
152,000.
In the outlay.
And are we all
Do you have any
setting
questions
with
about that,
something?
Diane? I mean, are you kind of following
I
what
have
the
a few
difference in
That's
that?
what
It
I'm
would be a lot easier if they each had their own.
Just, I don't know where
Word.
where
It's
we're
a
going
different
with it.
vocabulary
She-
word.
She
Debt
punches me
service
when
is a
she's got
loan.
questions.
Grant
Chris, what does that
is
mean?
grant.
Good, keep him in line. I'm running out of ink over here. Here, that's why we said every other.
Those are debt proceeds.
Keep everybody in line.
Where do you see
Are we
the
gonna
debt
try,
service?
are we
Oh, right
gonna
here.
try to, yeah, that's an expense, so.
Yeah.
Are we gonna try to say, well, we'll spend 152,000 if we get, what?
Grants,
Are you getting
yes.
a loan, or are you getting a
Grant.
grant, or
Grant.
Either.
Any of, either.
It's grant
either
proceeds,
all the
it's
above.
40/25.
just to balance it out?
That was
I suppose
what-
you could say.
Yeah, that was
40/25.
one of those new things.
Well, I think we
So
always
have to
had-
use it, we haven't used it for a long
Well,
time.
there's a good place for it though,
We always
cause
had
that's what they're
grant-
talking about.
Grant
Or loan, I
proceeds,
mean, it could be either
Could
or
be.
both, it's,
proceeds.
We don't really have a loan though, we've got
no.
debt proceeds, I guess. Could go into, I just put in grants.
Yeah. 152.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a placeholder, so
Right, right.
when you're trying to explain the budget, you say,
We had it
that
considered
152
at
in
that
capital
time.
outlay was gonna come from an
then-
outside source.
Yes, an outside source and then funnel through the city. So
Right.
like,
That
so
makes sense.
if you were to do that's something else we need to consider with that grant for the downtown revitalization, what department would that technically fall under?
Good point.
Because we need to be able to,
Don't we have to,
Good
so it
point.
sounds like we're gonna,
it has to be
funnel the
funneled through the
money.
city, yeah, so it's gotta have an
So-
in and an out, and that
It's
would be
called
exactly, that,
laundering.
it doesn't have to be in
The
our
business-
cash value, cause we get as much money as we pay out, so we don't have to come up with the
but the
funds.
business owner is gonna want to get reimbursed before that 2.5 months that we get the money, right? So we're gonna
I don't think we
reimburse
need
them?
to prepay that,
I
I
don't
think
think
we
so
pay it when
either.
we get it, I
Okay.
don't find that reasonable to ask earlier.
No.
No, you can't ask
No.
contractors to
Mm-mm.
sit on something for 2.5 months.
Well, but that's,
You can't.
I
But
think
that's
part
a
of,
business,
I
that's,
think part of what he said though was you work with banks so that owners can get a loan for the full amount of the project, so that as it comes in, they can pay what they
you
need
get
to,
reimbursed.
and therefore, then they submit theirs to the city, and the
Right.
city can do it at the
Okay.
expense and the timeline of
100%.
when it goes through the state.
Yeah.
And I think that
The
is the way
city
you make
doesn't
it
need
work
to
so
be a
that
bank.
nobody's at,
They don't
Right.
need to, they don't need to.
nobody's at a
Yeah,
detriment
because
to their
especially if this
salary.
happened in the summertime when we have all these wages and everything, and
Right, we'd be tight.
it'd be really tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I think
We-
that we'd have to make sure that, cause he said that,
but
that
is
we
that,
would have that caveat to make that
So
part of
in
that.
general
requirement.
probably it would need to be, I would say to be safe, although he seemed to think it was too much, but he just budgeted 250
The
in and
full.
250 out.
Right, I think so
Cause
too.
you gotta have the spending authority to spend that.
Agreed, yes, but
Actually,
we would need to write that in.
it'd be
330,
325.
330, wasn't it?
That extra amount, well,
Yeah,
Well, but I don't, the way he talked was 250 was the total, so is that including that?
No, 250 was the 75%.
Oh, okay, so then we'd have,
yeah, so it's,
but
you,
we don't have to cover or clear any
Mhm.
more than the 75%, we just have to clear
we're just.
the
fine.
75%, we're only clearing and facilitating the 75%. The bank and the business
Right.
owner clears the full amount,
right,
So
we
it's-
don't, we only have to
We
worry
have
about
to
the
have the full
250.
amount worth of project.
So,
Yes.
So is this changed? Are we going ahead with this year? Is he gonna write the grant for this year? Cause it seemed like we had lots of people interested
So the
in it
way he
last
talked
I
about
can't get
this
that
year
in
was
there.
actually the current budget year, and he talked about next year being the budget year we're working on now. I think it would behoove of us to write it in as one of these grant proceeds in and out, so that it doesn't hurt us if it's there, but if it happens in the next year, we have the benefit of it already being
that's a
there.
great idea.
But he said that if we were gonna do that, that the deadline for the grant is September 15th, so.
That's
It
for
won't
this
happen
year,
this
though.
year.
but that's for
This'll
this,
be-
this year.
Yeah, we're
The
working
one
on
we're
next.
on right now.
We're gonna be working on next year's.
We'll all be an old stickler. and
So it'll
say,
be next September 15th.
This is really more general and that's not on the agenda.
Okay.
So let's move on.
Right, it doesn't apply here.
I'm the mayor.
Same flavor, no, you're good.
So
Same
we-
flavor, but it's not
Give
this
me a tally
department.
mark.
So we don't need to budget into this year's then? Since it'll be until September 15th of next year?
I still think we need to consider it for this year, but we'll do it when we get to general.
Yeah.
We can ask him and clarify that
Oh,
before
you
we
wanna
get
go
to
to
general.
general, not on street, okay, yep.
Yeah, cause that would be a line item within general, so we don't
Perfect.
have to decide that tonight, so we have the opportunity to
Perfect.
clarify that with him
But-
before that meeting,
If, when do we do general?
not tonight.
I know,
And don't have that.
but that means that if we did put it into
Probably-
general for this year, then we need to have something on the agenda next meeting.
We're
to give
discussing
the-
it
Give the
within.
go-ahead, so, because he said if you call him a month from now, there's no way, but
I
if he
don't-
started working on the grant right now, he'd be okay with it.
His calendar year is different than our calendar year, and so when he said the things he said, it sounded more
We're not gonna-
emergency than it is us.
we're
And
not
we
gonna
don't
have
need to
time.
make that move that soon.
Yeah.
So we'll
This will come
clarify
available again
that
next
for
year.
the next budget and what
Okay.
we should be.
But the general is on the 12th.